Artie, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins now have 7 straight wins after beating Toronto for the second time in a week, 5-3 at TD Garden. This was David Pasternak's night as he scored career goals 400 and 401 to lead his team to the win.
Just, to be able to do it at home in front of our fans, maybe that's why it was special, because obviously the 60 goal wasn't nearly as enjoyable like this one.
Jeremy Swayman added 30 saves in net. The Bruins are now 11-7 and in a tie with Montreal for first place in the division. They visit Ottawa tomorrow night. As for the Celtics, they lost in Philadelphia 102-100. Kelly Oubre's putback with 8.7 seconds left put the Sixers ahead. And then Derek White's heave as time ran out came up short. Jaylen Brown, 24 points. Celtics play again tonight at home against Memphis. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30. You're on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Dallas finally fired GM Nico Harrison yesterday. The NBA also announced that the All-Star game will be the U.S. against the world this season. Patriots are without Austin Hooper and defensive lineman Joshua Farmer at practice yesterday. They host the Jets tomorrow night. Travis Hunter will miss the rest of the Jacksonville season after knee surgery. And Antonio Brown pled not guilty to attempted murder charges in Miami. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit catcheslaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 98.5sportshub.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah. Boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Good morning. Hello. Hello, everybody. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. Listen to us on the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube if you're here.
It's sexy.
It is sexy. If you're hearing this on a podcast, know that that's up on YouTube as well. Big show on the way today. Jets writer Zack Rosenblat. Forsberg's in studio for 2 breaks, but one of them will not be Celtics. That's too much Celtics.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnston is in this very exciting Bruins team. What do you got going? We'll get into that and what happened last night. So I've begun wearing a whoop. Now, what is a whoop?
Whoop, whoop.
Well, Tag Team put it together.
There it is.
If you remember Tag Team, they put it together, and they want to know, if you want to know where it is, it's right here on my right wrist. And my son had gotten a whoop. And he, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. And he went on and on and on and on and on and on and on about the whoop. So I said, all right, I'll get the whoop. I said, I've been wearing this like other watch. It's not so great with it. Let's get to the whoop. Now, here is the problems with wearing the whoop, which is more precise than the other thing I've been wearing. One of the things it's supposed to do very well is track your sleep. Now, Hardy knows the answer to this. John, I slept less than normal last night.
Okay.
That's a hint. Would you care to guess the amount of time it says that I was asleep last night?
5 hours.
Well, my average is 4 hours and 38 minutes.
All right.
So would you care to...
2 hours and 25 minutes.
An hour and 31 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
It says I was asleep from 10:47 to 12:26 is what it says that I was asleep for.
And so it says there was no sleep between 12:26 and 4:30 whenever you got up.
Yes.
Okay. Now, would you go on the witness stand and swear in a court of law that you were asleep for at least part of that time?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where the whoop maybe is at fault.
But it also tracks your restorative sleep, which is, the light, deep, and REM sleep. And my restorative sleep was 56 minutes of sleep. So, which is good because I've caught whatever my son and Hardy have. So that's good stuff. So I know that's going on. But it says that I had low sleep stress, so I don't know really what was going on.
So my daughter had, I think, this same thing. Like,
the whoop.
No, not the whoop. The whoop. There it is. The same illness like weeks ago, only we're pretty sure, as she is experiencing her first year away from home, once she went to the doctor and then went to another doctor on campus, was not taking the meds because it was indicated to her she would not be able to drink while she was on these meds.
Yeah.
So she ignored the medications for a while and stayed sick for a month.
You know that's, but you can drink on the medications. They just aren't supposed to work as well. So that's where there is a little bit of a thing. You can certainly drink on them. It's not going to kill you.
Well, maybe that's what she was doing. It wasn't working as well.
Well, no. They present. Here's the problem, because this happened to me in college. They'll go, here's the and then I got wise. They go, here's the medicine. Don't drink on it. That's all they say. And so you think, because you're a kid, you think, oh my God, if I drink on this medicine, like something terribly is going to go wrong. Like,
right.
Like you're drinking on like a benzo or something like that. You think that, oh no, I could stop breathing. No. It's like an antibiotic or like a Z-Pack.
Yes. Yeah, right.
And you of course can drink on it. The alcohol is not gonna mix with alcohol and kill you. No, the thing is that the alcohol may, in a very light may affect how well it works. Yep. And so, which is not even like a scientific fact. It's basically they just tell kids not to drink. And so, believe me, I drank for 18 to like let's say 48, and then with a couple years off. So say I drank for let's say I drank for 30 years. So or for 25 years. Believe me, the medicine works. The medicine works. Okay. Okay, fellas.
Well, we
between 25 and 30 years.
We know that she was absolutely ignoring it because the one time she went to the doctor, we're like, okay, how are the new antibiotics? And this was like, she had gone on a Wednesday, and we asked her like on Friday. She says, I haven't started taking them yet. Now, she didn't tell me this. She told this to my wife. I was like, well, she goes, I don't know why she's not. And I said, I know why she's not, because they told her. Or actually, it's maybe Marcy who figured that part of it out. But that's her. That's what's going on. Is it the same strain, Fred, that you and I both have? Now, you and I both took our COVID tests, I'm sure, both last night and again this morning, because that makes all the difference.
Oh, yeah, I got to know if I have the COVID.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Which, when I had COVID, the few times I had COVID, I mean, very close to death. I mean, it was a 24-hour flu.
But the thing where I'm at in mine right now is that once I was up for a few hours yesterday, I felt fine. Now, I woke up this morning, same, unchanged, but after 40 minutes of like coughing and blowing my nose and being up for a while, I'm like, okay, I can do this. So I think the worst part of it is the first couple of days where you just feel kind of sick all day. Now it's just like annoying, stuffed up kind of coughing all day, but you don't feel sick. You understand?
Yeah. So my son on Sunday, as we watched football, coughed and sneezed without blocking his face directly onto me throughout the whole 1 o'clock window of games.
That's great.
And it's rare for a boy, I think, to not protect his father more.
Yeah.
I mean, they usually seem to be pretty sanitary with things. And so he's like coughing and he thinks it's very funny. And I don't really care about things like that. Like one thing I'm fortunate, I guess, or unfortunate is I'm not a germaphobe, like at all. I realize the more truly germophobic people that I run into, like I just can see Felger the couple times a year I see the beginning of the Felger and Maz show on TV, as while they're on the air, he's frantically wiping everything down, which is a pointless endeavor. In fact, probably more likely to get you sick, because you do have to be exposed to germs to get immunity to them. So if you're you guys know, and everyone has learned by now, if you're constantly disinfecting yourself, it's not great for your health.
Well, not only that, but if you're only coming in here and disinfecting this stuff, did you disinfect the door handle to get into the office? Because that one, everyone in the building has touched. And if you don't guard yourself against that, you're really only guarding yourself against 2 or 3 people.
Okay, so
here.
I would argue, and I don't know this at all, but I would guess that Felger is the kind of person that like covers his hand when he opens a door. Like even if he has a short sleeve shirt on, he'll use the bottom of his shirt to open the door.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So,
right.
You know, I have a feeling that he is a big germaphobe. But anyway, so like he was doing that. There's no way I got it from Hardy. There's no way. It's definitely from Milo. And Milo never missed school, but he did stay home on Sunday and like not do anything. And we were supposed to go do something, and he was like, I can't. It was something he wanted to do, like go to this golf thing, and he wanted to do it, but he was like, I'm too sick to go, which is for him pretty sick, and he didn't do anything that day. So he definitely was sick, but he didn't miss school, and Hardy hasn't missed work. So that's the thing, is that I think it's it's a big pain in the ass.
You know, it's funny. I think I got it from my son. Now, there wasn't like the one identifiable moment, like you said with Milo, with him like sitting next to you and coughing and sneezing on you for,
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours during the 1 o'clock window, but spend an awful lot of time together. And it could have been any one of those things. He hasn't missed school either. So
yeah, and I can't imagine I miss work because I wear the Whoop. And now I can really kind of key into what I need to do today. So if you want to know what the Whoop, more of what the Whoop says, yeah, I guess the audience, if they could talk, would agree. Yeah, let's hear about the Whoop.
Yeah.
I had a 10% recovery from yesterday, which is not good.
No.
But your sleep was stress free.
Not a lot of stress, no. But I had 12,000 steps yesterday.
Oh, significant.
Whoop.
Yeah, whoop. That's true.
Whoop, whoop.
They were very low stress steps, but there were a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you want the follow up to the air filter saga, the furnace filter?
Oh, you're trying to return them.
No.
Sure.
All right. Well, take a powder then.
I'm listening.
I went back to the Stoughton True Value.
And all sales were final when you bought these things.
All sales final. I bought 6 of the wrong size furnace filter.
Right.
How?
Some consternation when you got them home. I understand.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I would have sworn up and down I needed this, and it's always been that. And what'd you do? I don't bring them into the store. I'm going to go into the store first to see if they have the correct size, and maybe they can just do a swap for me. There's a woman standing there. She's holding one of the size that I bought. And she said, do you think they have any more back there? I'm just trying to stock up before, the store closes. And I said, oh, you need that size? I got you. And we had a nice visit, Fred. We had a nice long conversation about me buying the wrong size, and she needed the size that I had bought. And I said, I'll sell them to you directly. And long story short, they had 2 in the size that I needed. They ended up taking back the ones that I had purchased and then selling them immediately to this woman. And then I got a couple of the size I needed. She got the ones that she needed. All's well that ends well.
That's a good story. There's no need to follow up on that, Jonathan.
Okay, sir.
Dan, go ahead.
Is it a call about the furnace filters, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Dan, go ahead.
I'm here for you.
It is not. It's Freddie anti-science. I think you need to mask up, get that plexiglass going again, and one of you needs to go remote right away. This can't be. You can't let this spread. You can't. One of you should broadcast from an island for a year.
Not funny.
Well, more than that.
Don't do
but
that.
How dare you? And I am not anti. I gotta be anti-science if I'm wearing the whoop. You know, how could I be anti-science if I'm rocking a whoop? Eric, go ahead.
I can't remember the day, but I remember last week Milliken sounded just like Hardy, and it was awful. And they were questioning him on it, like why he was there. And then Zolak the day after, Zolak just sounded disgusting. Then the following days, like it was normal Zolak, but just gross on a cold. And now you got. I'm pretty sure it came from Milliken, and he was the root cause. And people like that should never come into work and spread it everywhere. I hate those people.
So it's funny. No one's ever said to me, which I would love, Fred, that I can recall, Fred. Well, maybe that has happened. Nah, I take it back. It has happened. It doesn't seem to happen very often where people are like, Fred, you're ill. Go home. But it has happened. So, especially with the throat. So I take that back. It has.
There was
happened.
a period of time where we were kind of pleading with you. You know, you don't sound real well.
I mean, I was fighting for my existence at the time. I had to, not my existence health wise. I knew something was afoot. I was afraid to leave the building.
I remember when
could have killed me.
Milliken was sick like that, but to somehow blame Milliken for infecting Zolak is never not sick. He's always dealing with something. He is the most sickly person that I know in terms of he's got a cold. He threw up 3 times on the way into work. He throws up during the show. Mm-hmm. He's always got something going on.
Yeah, that's definitely the flu. So well, yeah, I mean, if you're throwing up, there's no other explanation.
That's right.
Yeah. So I am of the mind that with this job especially, and I'd be interested if you all would you two both get the whoop. In fact, everyone get the whoop.
Why don't you get everybody a whoop for Christmas, like a gift to the offensive line?
Yeah, maybe. I was gonna get you guys Bibles, but because I wanted you to get the greatest gift of all, which is waking up to the power of the Lord. But I might change my mind on that, because if we all got whoops, because I am of the mind that, and I'm not in this frame of mind right now how I currently feel, but like when you're super run down, it's more of what my throat is doing. When you're super run down, and I told you this yesterday, Hardy, for you.
Yeah.
If you're super run down, the best thing you can do is just pack it in on a day and just go, I'm not coming in tomorrow. And you sleep. I mean, John wanted you to go crazy taking like over-the-counter medicine. I don't know if that's the case, but in all seriousness, you go and you just take a day, and you don't do anything, and then you kind of recalibrate, and you get that sleep deficit back, and then you are usually good to go, because you're gonna, because sometimes with that, if you don't, it's never gonna go away, and it's only gonna get worse, and then you might miss a couple days. I just think with this job that a non-traditional sick day, in that maybe like you could go into work, like it's possible, but like you're just so run down. I think a couple times a year, that's maybe the best thing that you could. It's maybe better than not doing it. In this culture, you know, with our generation at least, certainly not with younger generations, there's this like. People don't want to take work off. They feel like, and then you're like, people are like, oh, you took work off. Like it's like this huge deal, but it's really not. If you just take a day to sleep, sometimes you just got to know. And that's from advice from just, if you feel like your voice is going, my big advice to you is, your voice is going, do not come into work. That's the one thing that you can't, because a lot of that is fatigue related to get the symptoms worse. So you got to just, you got to rest, and you can't do anything during the day, which is very boring and not enjoyable. It's not like a fun day off. It's a day of complete getting that whoop back.
Well, I was just going to say, punch up the whoop stats.
Yes, exactly, Jonathan.
I tried to do it last night. I took a near full dose of NyQuil, but let me tell you, I screwed it up.
Wow. How'd you mess that up?
It was about 8 o'clock. 8:30. I'm like, this will be good. I'll hit the rack around 9. When I'm getting really drowsy.
Mm-hmm.
But the three of us sat down to watch an episode of Welcome to Derry, and about 30 minutes in, I'm like, I'm not going to make it. You guys, I'll finish this tomorrow. I'm going up. I go upstairs. The dog is on the bed. She had slinked her way up into our bed, and I said, no, you're not sleeping with us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I come downstairs. I'm like, well, I got to take the dog out, and Marcy made no indication that
you had already taken the NyQuil.
I had already taken the NyQuil.
Oh,
and
no.
I was getting drowsy.
Oh, no. And you're lucky you weren't nude, lost in the neighborhood.
So here's what happened, Fred. Had I just gone upstairs, I would have passed right out in bed and been out. But it was a Quaalude-like experience. Like Wolf of Wall Street, they said if you can fight off that urge to sleep, for 15, 20 minutes, you get one hell of a high. And I took the dog outside, and by the time I got back in, I had missed my window, and then I was off to Planet Zippy, as Felger likes to say.
Yeah, did you see trails and visuals?
Yeah, well, I understand chemtrails now and what they're actually doing.
Did you feel like you were that the universe made sense and that you realized how we're all just atoms floating and part of a greater collective?
Yeah, and that we're just an atom in the fingernail of another giant being, all that stuff.
Okay, well, it's good that you didn't freak out, because sometimes you can have a bad NyQuil experience where, Marcy would have had to take care of you, and that was her birthday.
Right. Which is why I don't think she wanted to take the dog out last night when it was freezing. No, it's my birthday. I'm not taking the dog out.
I remember Lollapalooza used to have this chill out tent if you took too much NyQuil, or even NyQuil at all. Even if you had taken NyQuil the night before.
They still have it at Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big problem over there. I wish they'd have more of a police presence to get that NyQuil out of those kids' hands. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment. Both local winter teams played last night. To varying results. We will have that for you in just a moment.
Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happens. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, 2 teams playing last night.
Yeah, I've never liked the designation home and home, because aren't you looking at it from the perspective of one team? The Bruins are playing a home and home with the Maple Leafs. No, they're not. In this case, they were playing an away and home.
I see.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I just...
Wherever you're at, there you are.
Oh, now I get it. So they were home last night for the second half of a away and home with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And about 5 minutes in, Pavel Zacha on the power play. On the power play, 12.
Now Geekie lays it down off the end boards to Arvidsson, around the boards back to Geekie, center blue line McAvoy, top of the right circle, Pastrnak threw one in front and they score! It ricocheted off Saga from between the circles, and the Bruins grab a 1-0 lead on the power play goal.
As you heard, Pastrnak and Charlie McAvoy assisting on that. Leafs would tie it up. Hampus Lindholm scores again on the power play. Steves gets on the board for the Bees. They got a 3-1 lead after the first period, John Wall.
Not bad.
Not
Steve's
bad at all.
former Toronto Maple Leaf. If you're watching a game on TV, big smile on his face after he scored against his former team that gave up on him.
Love it.
Very, very happy.
Now, you want to talk about happy. How about the whole team getting happy? 49 seconds into the second period last night, a milestone was reached.
And here's Pastrnak off a feed from Geekie, just onside, and he scores! Pastrnak going back and forth in front of Hildeby, and he gets number 400 in his career, and the Bruins have a 4-1 lead.
And it was
And everybody off the bench right now.
dandy.
Congratulate Pastrnak. Geekie went and grabbed the puck.
Yeah. Long.
What a move.
This is the half version of the goal call. The entire bench empties. They come out to congratulate him. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But what a move. Huh?
That was
I mean,
beautiful.
he stops dead in front of the goaltender, was able to shift the puck around. Fantastic move from David Pastrnak.
It was a beautiful goal. Now, if you didn't care for the goal celebration, perhaps you should keep it to yourself.
Yes.
Lest you incur the wrath of Morgan Geekie. Have you heard about this, Fred?
Who cared about the goal celebration?
Kevin Majori. Our own Kevin Majori, who is the associate producer of the Felger and Maz show.
Some say he's the Ryan Beaton of the afternoon show in that they are very similar in personality and in look.
Wow.
Beaton doesn't have the hockey uniforms, though.
And position, everything.
Yeah, they're I bet you they're Eskimo brothers too. They both met the same girl at the library at different times.
What a call.
Yeah. Kevin Majori and Ryan Beaton are cut from the same cloth.
Well, Majori tweeted out,
which is a beige.
and he's a huge Bruins guy.
Mm-hmm.
Owns 150 different sweaters. I
Yes.
mean, he's got all the Bruins jerseys.
All of them are top line, too.
Yeah, like the $150, $200 jerseys. He
It's an
owns
odd
them all.
collection. Okay.
Yeah. Odd guy. Him, Beaton. Look at him.
No, Beaton's all right. Don't Beaton. I got your back. He's the mean one.
Kevin Majori tweeted out, "I'll be the dweeb. Entire team coming out for a 400th goal is kind of dumb." Morgan Geekie saw that 3 hours after Majori tweeted it and quote tweeted it to say, "Stick to your day job, Kevin." Boom.
Burn.
Roasted.
He didn't even know Kevin worked in sports talk radio.
Pwned.
It didn't seem like they did a whole lot. They just came out and like hugged them, and then they went to the bench. It's not like they did a huge montage and like stopped the game.
Yeah,
I watched that whole game. I didn't. Well, that's funny. I didn't think anything of that.
It was an extra 15 seconds out of everyone's life.
Yeah, like the bench
wasn't a big
cleared
deal.
and they like lightly touched him, and then they all went back to the
Skated
bench.
back, sat down, and the game continued.
Yeah,
that's all.
Oh, that's funny. That's a very odd thing to be perturbed by. Yeah, and I get perturbed by many things, and I thought that Yeah, he had a nifty goal for his 400th, and they came out to congratulate him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went to the bench. No, there was other things in that game that took a long time. It was a fantastic game.
It was good. So I ended up watching most of it this morning. The good feelings didn't really last, though. Bobby McMahon scored on the power play later in the second period.
But you got to get into what happened. So Lindholm, do you have the Lindholm hit on Austin Matthews?
No, I was gonna.
Zadorov, I thought.
Zadorov. So
Yeah.
Zadorov hit Matthews and puts him in head first, and Matthews has to come off. It wasn't a dirty hit, and he barely even hit him.
Right.
Like
Matthews just awkward toppling over is what it was.
And then so things got incredibly chippy.
Yes. So, long story short, the Maple Leafs would make it a one-goal game after Ekman Larson scores 3 minutes into the third, and the dust-up that involves Swayman and Domi and Zadorov, that was the one that I think kind of like snapped the Bruins out of it a little bit less.
Okay, so I can kind of tell you what happened. So it was Zadorov. Zadorov hits Matthews. He barely hits him. He like kind of skates into him, and Matthews hits his head on the boards. It really wasn't, not being a homer, it really wasn't much.
Wasn't a big deal.
But they don't know. So Toronto, because Toronto had been dead. So then Toronto like kind of wakes up and things get incredibly physical.
Yes.
And so like cross-checking, and the Bruins are taking the brunt of the penalties. And this kind of allows Toronto to get back into the game. And so you're going to play the Domi? Are you playing the Domi thing?
I'm going to play the Domi thing because I think
the Domi thing did switch things around because Zadorov was very smart there. Was it Zadorov or Limo?
It was Zadorov.
Zadorov was very smart here.
Yeah, Zadorov looked at him and was like, "Why are you picking on me, little man?"
Yeah. He was
basically
much bigger.
What are you doing?
This is not Ty Domi. This is
no. This is a much smaller kid. Yeah.
So let's hear how RJ identifies this.
Stops in front of the Bruins bench, sends it across ice into the near corner. Robertson peels out of there. Backhanded for Domi. Looking up by Zadorov. McMahon to the far circle, and McCabe threw one to the net. Swayman's Domi and Zadorov getting into it in front of Swayman, and then Swayman takes a poke at Domi, and Domi throwing right hands toward Zadorov as they go tumbling down in front of the crease.
Well, Swayman got wiped out initially, so I didn't see how that happened. Then Domi took a couple of shots at Zadorov.
Yeah, Swayman was laying down almost out by the far circle.
Like Zadorov got the net. We're not taking penalties if we don't need to, right? But
all right, so what happened is Zadorov didn't take his gloves off and just hugged him and took him down.
Yes.
And
That
so
was
Domi got the penalty there.
And it looked like Domi connected on one of his punches that he threw at Zadorov. He still didn't take his gloves off.
Zadorov's
smart.
Okay, so this is, if you hadn't seen it and you want to go back and watch it, this is an apt description. It's kind of funny. John said it right. Like, Zadorov really is just ignoring being punched. It looks, you can see his face. He looks completely unconcerned with it.
We saw Charo do this a few times when he was here.
And so Domi's like reaching up trying to hit him, and then Zadorov finally, he doesn't take his gloves off, just hugs him and takes him down.
Yeah, literally pancakes him on the ground in front of the net.
Like right away.
Yeah. No, it was one of those deals like, you really can't hurt me. You shouldn't be doing this. Why don't we just stop?
But Domi dropped his gloves
Yes.
and like was reaching, like futilely reaching, try to hit him in the face. And Zadorov did have a look of like, just not even annoyance, just okay, here we go. And he just like hugged him and took him down. So then they go on the power play. At this point, it's a 4-3 game.
Yeah.
They go on the power play. And John, you saw this, the camera angle. I got to give TNT a lot of credit for having an overhead weird camera angle the entire possession.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I was waiting for them to switch away from that. I'm looking at this bird's eye view of the power play.
It's ridiculous.
Can you get us down to the point where it looks like something I'm used to watching?
Well, it's ridiculous.
It's like coach's film.
I got it. You have a different camera angle. Fantastic. But for the entire possession, it's at this camera angle.
And they didn't score until the end of the power play, so we got to sit through the entirety of this thing, and they kept it in the zone.
Yeah, and so it's at this, it's like if you had seats at center ice, like 20 row, like it's like center ice, like in the upper deck kind of. and you were looking at one of the goals.
Right.
So it's like you're at the game, which is not ideal on TV.
But almost wrong side of center ice. It wasn't quite as good as you're describing
It's like
it.
the
which
opposing
isn't great.
blue line. It's weird.
But it was sort of like you were at the game and like you're in one seat. So like you're seeing, and you're just seeing it from that one perspective. They have 100 cameras at these games, and they can switch views and stuff.
I think that's the point of TV. You just don't
that's
have
what
to
I'm saying.
You don't have to watch that one version of it.
You might as well just mount the camera on like an angle, and just turn it on one seat. It was terrible.
But it was toward the end of that power play that Zadorov drew the penalty against Domi that this happened.
18 seconds to go on the power play. Centering pass here for Kastelik on the back door. They score! It's Posta! Power play goal! 5-3 Bruins! Number 401!
Oh, that's right, because he scored the 400th earlier.
Pastrnak gets 2. He's got 401 goals. And I was watching Wayne Gretzky in between the second and third periods. Gretzky, I believe, because it was on in the background, but I turned around when I heard it, Gretzky said he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Pastrnak is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And if you look, he's got 401 goals. He's not 30 years old yet. This guy's going to wind up probably, if he doesn't get hurt, he's probably going to be one of the top 20 or 25 goal scorers of all time.
Well,
that's what we are watching.
What did Ovechkin just score?
900.
Okay, so he's never going to hit 900.
No. But to get into the top 20 or 25, you got to get 550, 600 thereabouts.
Oh, he's easily going to get 600.
Yeah, he's got 401. He's 29 years old. I mean, he's got at least 6 years worth of prime left in him.
Well, he's going to play probably for 10 more years.
Yeah.
Ovechkin's
a freak. He's scoring 40 at the age of 39. That's not going to happen.
No. I never said that he was going to score 900 goals, but I said he'll probably play at least 10 more years, and that means he'll probably pick up 300.
700 goals,
yeah, exactly.
And that puts him close to Yager territory. That's like top 10.
Yeah, that's right. He gets into Yager territory, which is vaginal canal.
I saw
or other hole.
I saw Gretzky say the same thing, but it didn't make an impression on me because he's so dead. He's just like, they go to him and they want something from him, and he won't give them anything. It was during that same discussion. What did they? Oh, they said, "Oh, I bet you remember everything, Wayne. You remember your 400th goal in game 438?" And he said, "No." They're like,
I don't remember that at all.
No,
okay.
He was like, I was scoring 18 a game. It's hard to remember when these.
No, but the overall point is, and we discussed
No,
this
I get it.
a
He's
week
balanced.
ago, but the idea was they were outside. It was last week or the week before. They were outside in Vegas because that was the back end of the doubleheader. And Gretzky's all the way on the left-hand side. He's got sunglasses on. He just sits there. He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
And what's odd is that, like, in person, and I've met him once, but I know people, obviously, in hockey that, like, know him. Like, he's, like, a gregarious, like, good guy. He just doesn't care about being on TV.
No.
And why would he? The only reason he's there is because he's named Wayne Gretzky. And we know that in this country, there is only one hockey player who's everyone knows their name. He's the only one. And you're too close to hockey if you think this isn't true. If you think anyone knows Bobby Orr's, everyone knows Bobby Orr's name in Nebraska. If you think everyone knows Sidney Crosby's name, Gordie Howe's name, you're wrong. They don't. Gretzky, that's it. So they said, who's the only guy we can get? And Gretzky knows it. He doesn't probably particularly want to do it, but it's a paycheck he can't turn down. And, he's tried his hand at coaching, general managing. He's tried his hand at all these things. Did he coach, right? Or did he just general manage?
I think he was a GM or an owner.
Well, he was a GM.
In Phoenix.
Yeah, in Phoenix. Maybe a GM owner or whatever. So he's tried these things and with very limited success. So he probably figures he probably didn't even make like a knockout amount of money while he played.
No, he didn't.
So
back then the salaries were very low.
So he's probably like, I'm going to take this paycheck and I really don't have to do anything. But back to the Bruins. So they have won how many in a row, John?
7.
And they have won 8 out of 9.
Yes.
And don't look now. I don't know why they've played more games than every single team in the league. Just about. I don't know when they make this up because their schedule is pretty consistent from here on out. Like the Canadians have played 16 games, the Bruins have played 18. I don't know how that is because the Bruins don't get time off. Like this was the time off. Yeah. This was the 3 games. They had 3 days between games, 2 days between games. So, and now and I've looked at their schedule, and it's pretty consistent for the foreseeable future. So I don't know when these games are made up. I don't know if something happened in Canada. They were fussing and fighting about something. They canceled a game. Go ahead.
The funny part is if you watch the Bruins, you guys saw this, they still make bad mistakes. McAvoy made a horrendous turnover that led to Toronto's first goal. Swayman should have had at least 1, if not 2 of the shots that he missed.
Oh, I think it was the
third one.
Yeah, the third one was...
That it kept looking. It's like, did it get tipped?
I think it didn't get tipped because it knuckled.
No, it knuckled, but it didn't get tipped. And it wasn't a particularly hard shot either. But Swayman still makes mistakes. The defense still makes mistakes. But the key is they're much better on the other end of the ice. They're far better offensively than we thought they were going to be. I mean, Pastrnak is still scoring, even though he's drawing all this extra attention. But he's getting help. Geeky, I think, has 9 goals in 11 games. Something like that?
Well, they had some stat that Zaga and Pastrnak have more goals than any other players since January 1st.
Yeah. Well,
in the league.
It makes sense.
So, I mean, it's exciting.
They're far better offensively, and that enables them to overcome the mistakes they keep making.
Yeah, like Buffalo's played 15 games. Forget it. It's just my own thing. I just don't know when they're going to make these games up. But anyway. Color me impressed. I'm very thrilled. I'm very, very happy that the Bruins are like this. They look good. That's the thing, is that like they looked good last night. It's not. They don't look like a bad team, like grinding things out. They looked like a good team.
A good team that makes mistakes, but they're able.
Yeah, they made mistakes, but they looked like a better team. They looked better than Toronto for most of that game.
They're looking better defensively, and they're capitalizing on some mistakes specific, and then cashing in on power plays.
And that's the thing. The power play is night and day from last year. I remember they hired Stearns specifically because of that, and they brought in a power play specialist too.
All right, Adam's very upset with you.
Sorry.
All right, we have to break. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub.
Quickly, Zadorov yesterday, he was asked about his decision to not fight Max Domi and what happened with him and Swayman and everything down there in front of the net. And he said basically what we all said.
Like I told Max, I'm like, he's way, shorter than me and smaller than me. And like, I'm not going to, it's a lose-lose situation for me if I fight him, right? So there was no point for me to do anything there.
I'm not going to fight.
I like that.
Very smart.
Yeah, call me a fool, call me a uneducated fan, but I do enjoy when someone is so much bigger than the person trying to fight them that they just, when the person drops their gloves and they're throwing bare-knuckle punches at them, don't even seem annoyed. They just seem like, all right, now I'm going to wrap my arms around you and take you to the ice, and you are going to go, we are going to go on the power play.
Save you from yourself.
Well, no, it's just like, you can't hurt me.
I know. If I were to be pissed, it would be a big problem for you, so I'm going to save you.
All right, we can save the Celtics highlight for next break, because just let's take it through what would have happened. Zadorov drops his gloves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He throws a punch. Domi ties him up and gets that thing over with as fast as possible. I don't think they're trading punches. I mean, do you?
No.
Yeah. So so then they both go to the box, and then they don't get the power play.
Yep.
I think it's much more of a statement just to be kind of annoyed. I will tell you this: Toronto tried, and they weren't going to push the Bruins around last night. Like, they did try. And that was a very good game. And Toronto was very upset after the Austin Matthews things, which, again, wasn't Sidorov's fault. But they kept trying to get back at the Bruins. And it was Lindholm who got hit at the bench, got a late hit at the bench. And
I did see that, yes.
At the Toronto bench, and there wasn't a penalty called. And thank God he's okay. And then there was a situation, was it Lindholm or Sidorov, because I'm getting them mixed up, where they rolled on their leg? Someone from Toronto rolled on the defenseman's leg.
I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, they were talking about on TV how he was lucky he didn't get hurt, and that led to a big scrum. They literally like rolled up onto his leg and his leg buckled. That happened last night.
No.
Yeah.
I just saw the one where McAvoy avoided the big hit.
No, this wasn't a big hit. This was behind the goal, and he was rolled up on. And that caused a big brouhaha. Like, it was like they were trying to hurt him. And then so they were desperate to try to make a statement. And the Bruins were not having it. They were not going to get pushed around last night. I thought it was very impressive. They seemed the more focused team. They seemed to be the tougher team.
I've always enjoyed when the Bruins beat Montreal. That's drilled into you around here when you're a kid. But now I get much more satisfaction watching them beat Toronto. I get satisfaction watching Toronto lose, and I can't really explain it. Maybe it's because Toronto's such a great hockey market, and this means so much to them. And they're,
it's the added benefit of seeing, a fan base and knowing that a fan base is just dying with every loss this team
those
suffers.
scarf-wearing morons out on the plaza watching the game on the big screen. It just, I get a perverse amount of enjoyment watching them slink home after losing. I don't know what that is.
They care about nothing more than this and this team, and this is it for them, and they just can't figure it out.
They had a good year last year.
They were delicious, Fred.
It is delish. I'm a scoundrel. I love the way that these fans are all like, hello, and then you're like, goodbye.
I'm with you, though, because I didn't grow up with the Montreal thing, so I don't have that, like,
it was
built
always
into me.
Montreal when we were kids.
But for me now, yes, watching this team and really, like, feeling like this team as the one, and Fred, I know you feel the same way, as the one that you've really taken as, like, okay, this is my Boston team. This is the one that I will root for along with my kids if they care. I will claim fandom of the Bruins above all others. It's when they beat Toronto, it's got that extra
fun.
That
it's
extra
great to watch.
Feeling to
Montreal called the police when Pacioretty was hitting into the stanchion. Montreal is, even in my time here since 2006, Montreal's acted up. They were calling the police on Chara.
When Felger Maz went on the show in Montreal with those guys, that was early on in the Sports Hub. You remember?
Right.
And it's like, if you didn't know who Felger Maz and what they were kind of about at that point, those guys ended up breaking the connection and hanging up with them because neither Felger nor Maz would shut up.
Yeah.
And they were being like so awful to these guys. And I remember like them laughing about it afterward, and all Maz said was, "We play to the whistle."
Have we ever not been hung up on by another radio station?
Don't you remember we
Philadelphia or something?
I thought it was Cleveland. I don't know why Cleveland. I remember Cleveland wanted to like pick fights with us.
Oh yeah. Well, the best was
remember that?
Well, Matt Taibbi, who was very controversial, but whatever. He had a book, and I'm a chapter of the book, and I didn't know him. He had heard this. I was on a Chicago station.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Before the Bruins were playing in one of the Super Bowls. It might have been the Atlanta Super Bowl. And I was like, and they're like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, they go, "You must be excited." And I'm like, I'm like, I get to go to Atlanta and I lived there, but it's still like early. You got to get up early to do the show. And they're like, "Yeah, but you got to be like, all jazzed up." Pumped. And I'm like, "Huh?" and they were like trying to get me to behave like a super fan, and I was like, "Nah, dude. Like, I'm like, does it matter to you?" I'm like, if the Bears make the Super Bowl, like, it's nice for ratings, but I don't care. I'm not a Patriot fan. And they were like, they ended up hanging up on me, and they were like, and then afterwards, I guess, because it's in the book, they like just went on, and it was about Taibbi's point was that in politics and in sports, like, people try to create these like false divisiveness.
Yeah.
And when you don't play ball, like they get all frustrated because you didn't act out the script that they wanted to have happen.
Yeah.
Which was kind of the idea when I went on. I'm like, I'll come on your show. Chicago, big market, but I'm certainly not going to. I'll make this memorable in a way you're not suspecting. All right, so see how I had to make it about myself.
And you won't like.
No, you're not going to like it.
You're not going to like having me on.
All right, so we'll be back in just a moment.
3 with 8.7 seconds left with the difference. Celtics are back home to play Memphis tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Dallas Mavericks fired GM Nico Harrison yesterday. The NBA has announced the All-Star Game will change format again. It'll be the U.S. against the world this season. Patriots host the Jets tomorrow night. Ramondre Stevenson and Kayshon Boutte both limited at the team's only practice of the week yesterday. Austin Hooper and defensive lineman Joshua Farmer were absent. And Travis Hunter out for the rest of the Jacksonville season after undergoing knee surgery yesterday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Boston Vision. Tired of reading glasses? Imagine life with clear, crisp vision and no glasses. Boston Vision can correct your vision quickly and safely, just like they did for Boston legend David Ortiz. Book your free consultation today at bostonvision.com because your best vision is Boston Vision. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Here we go.
Boom. I win. Boom.
Yeah.
It's a buddy.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Oh, boy. I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. On the line all show. He emails. He slowed down a little bit, but he was emailing some shows 20 times a show in the middle of the night. He had this fantasy that, what was it? That he tried to shoot me, but I had a bulletproof vest on or something like that. He was going to break into my house. He said there was like a lot of stuff going on in Blind Scott's head.
There's like multi-layered fantasies with Blind Scott, but the ones that were the most concerning were the ones where he happens upon your residence, and he's not there to hurt you necessarily, and you don't get hurt, but he is there in your home uninvited. Is my biggest takeaway from it, and I don't love that.
Right. So
I don't love that for you.
Blind Scott's not on hold, but fake Blind Scott is on hold.
Oh, good.
Hello, fake Blind Scott.
Hey, yeah, Fred, I'm glad you took my call because I wanted to warn you about a smell I noticed in your laundry room. I checked your dryer lint tray, and that was clear. So I'm worried it might be a gas leak, you know. I left the number for Archibald Tatanka on your fridge. He's the deputy admiral for National Grid, so you can get that checked out. Anyway, I heard you guys talking about sleep trackers, and that reminded me of the time I knocked a street preacher off his soapbox in Copley Square, right? He was given a reading of a letter from Paul to the Fallopians, and I was headed to my comedy gig at Club Trendy Mango, but I had to stop at the Franklin Park Zoo, and people were screaming because the monkeys were throwing feces. But the second it hit my forehead, I knew it was a sautéed harvest vegetable medley from Wahlburgers. And, John, you'd get a kick out of this. I got a Carlos Quintana rookie card signed by Tony Amos when I got 40 hours of community service for keystering Nips and Jameson into the Jimmy Fund silent auction at the Kenmore Square Howard Johnson's in 1996. Yeah, Bob LaBelle would hang out at the bar to pick up BU girls, but not to sleep with or anything, you know. He just needed someone to help him with his phone. If you put a cat's claw into an electric pencil sharpener, that it won't hurt him or sharpen his claws, but he will meow in Mandarin from now on.
All right. Well, fake Blind Scott. It's a lot to get there.
Force there.
All right, fake Blind Scott. Thank you so much. We've learned a lot. He did have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Fake Blind Scott had quite a bit to say.
Unbelievable.
Maybe make a video out of that for the very hardcore listeners.
To super serve those people, they will love it. They deserve it. And I can't think of a better gift to give them. Holy crap. It's perfection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we found out who the guy is. It wasn't who Blind Scott said it was. It wasn't that. It was it's a guy who's not a comedian, but it's the best impression that I've heard in a very long time. I'll put it up with the Billy West Marge shot, even though it sounds like it. So it's more like it's Larry Fine. All right. Last night, Hardy, the Celtics played the 76ers.
They did. They found themselves in an early deficit. They were actually down 10 at the half, but then the Celtics started making their way back.
Derek White into the offensive end.
Driving, lob, K to catch, land, slam with the right hand. Timeout immediately. Nick Nurse's. The Celtics for the first time tonight have some offensive momentum, and they've cut the Philadelphia lead down to 4.
That was finally when they got things going there in the third quarter, John. What happened in the first half?
They missed every shot they took. They shot under 30% in the first half, and then they made 14 of their first 22 shots in the second half. It's a make-miss league, Hardy.
Okay. Well, Jaylen Brown started making also.
Simon, shovel pass. Jaylen Brown has a step, attacks the paint, hangs in the air, and then throws a blind pass that Simons redirects to Derek White. White brings it back. Now White finds Jaylen Brown in the corner for 3, and he knew it. The second it left his hand, he knew that was going down.
He got caught in the air with no place to go. Was lucky to retrieve that basketball.
Nice ball movement.
He's only made 3 of the night, Jaylen Brown.
Now, how did you consume both games? You seem to know everything pretty much that went on in the Bruins game. How did you consume both games?
Flipping back and forth. I went with the Bruins until it was 4-1, and it was kind of a nice harmonic conversion. Celtic game was about to start then, so I stayed with the Celtics for a while, and the Celtics did not play well in the first half. Went back to the Bruins, saw Toronto's comeback, saw the Zadorov thing, and then the Bruins game, because it started an hour earlier, was done far before the end of the Celtic game.
Look at you. All right, so you got to
time
see,
management.
You got to see Anthony Simons here.
Boston by 5. 8:49 to go. Simons pull up 3, and he got another one.
Simons says,
I don't get it.
85-77. Boston by 8.
I don't know what Simon says. Lost on me. You know who's impressive is Hugo Gonzalez.
Hugo was good until he sprained his ankle.
Hugo.
Did he sprain his ankle, or was he embarrassed because he traveled?
No, he sprained it.
Okay.
He sprained it.
Was Jaylen Brown embarrassed when he went to the line late in the game with the game tied at 100? And
impossible that these two teams have already played 2 one-point games this year. And right now the Celtics trail by 1 with 33.5 to go, and Jaylen Brown with a second free throw. 79% on the year, 6 of 7 tonight. Bends the knees. Second free throw is in the air. It's good. Tie game.
I'm sorry. He bricked the first one off the front iron.
Yep.
Ugh. Not good.
Nope.
The Sixers would go up 2, and the Celtics had plenty of time. They called the timeout. They got the ball across half court. They had 8 and change left on the clock.
Yep.
8-point-something seconds.
Ball knocked away from him. Derek White has to get it back. Launch from half court. Kata deflects it, but it falls out, and the Sixers win the ball game. And Derek White is furious. He is saying that Drummond fouled him, reached in and hit him on the hand.
Yeah, why was Derek White all the way back there shooting that? Well, he did. Did he get fouled, or he just have the ball knocked loose? Then he had
the
to go
ball knocked
retrieve
loose
it close
by
to half
Drummond.
court.
He had to retrieve the ball at midcourt, turned around, looked at the clock, and saw he was almost out of time. So it was about a 50-foot heave.
When did he think he got fouled? On the shot or on when the ball got knocked
When the ball
loose?
was knocked away from him, that's when he thought he got fouled. Drummond didn't foul him on the shot.
A lot of you can tell the season's going well with the amount of games that players are complaining about fouls not being called.
It's the Celtics have now lost 2 out of 3 games to a team that is playing largely without Joel Embiid and Paul George. And last night it wasn't Tyrese Maxey exploding for 40 either, and that kid Edgecombe, who scored a lot against him in the first meeting, didn't have a particularly good game. There are problems. There are a lot of problems.
Well, if Drummond's playing 33 minutes in a game, and you're losing to that team, that's an issue.
Yes. I'm not going to argue with you. They got a lot to work on. They're 5-7. And we knew it was going to be bumpy, but unfortunately, this is Josh Minot, who was everyone's favorite, barely played last night. I mean, they've kind of pushed him out of the rotation, at least for this game, and this is what it's going to be. They're still trying to figure out who they are, other than Jaylen Brown and Derek White. They haven't yet.
I was trying to check in on this game too, John, and also catching up on it this morning. Was there a lot more Jordan Walsh last night than
Yes.
I've seen in the past?
At the end of the game, Walsh was in. Walsh played not good defense, great defense on Tyrese Maxey.
I did see that, yes.
Who usually takes over at the end of games. The reason Philadelphia won was Maxey had the ball alone up outside the three-point line up top, and Walsh, who's bigger than he is, had limited him before. Maxey threw up a miss that Oubre put back in.
Sorry.
put back in for the
Threw
win.
up? What?
Miss? You threw up?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Jordan Walsh, who has been largely,
29 minutes he logged last
I'm
night.
missing. Largely, Jordan Walsh has been a missing man since he got here.
Yeah.
And now I think they're forced to play him, but he's also earning his minutes, at least on the defensive end. He looks good.
Josh Minot started, ended up playing 8 minutes last night because he was AWOL in the second half. So Joe Mazzulla, second half, why not Minot?
Did you talk to Josh about not playing in the second half and the reasons for that, or do you talk to him tomorrow, or is it just on him to kind of figure out and then move forward?
That's between me and Josh.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, I don't like secrets. That's for sure. It seems like there's something brewing there. I don't like that secret.
He did give credit to Jordan Walsh, though, as John just did.
Yeah, he's been playing well. He's been playing well on both sides of the ball. Thought he did a great job on Maxey throughout the game. They did a great job on him on the last possession. So just kind of wanted to keep that momentum, and he's just got to keep getting better.
They have Jaylen Brown is one of the better scorers in the NBA early in the season. He's doing his best on the offensive end, and even though defense is kind of geared to stop him, he's still scoring. Derek White is still working through some shooting trouble. He was better last night, especially in the third quarter. But after that, Anthony Simons very streaky off the bench, but besides those three guys, they're really not sure where the points are going to come from. Pritchard has cooled off a little bit, so they are right about where they should be at this point.
13 of 38 on the three-pointers. The one thing you can say is, well, at least they only attempted 38. It wasn't 13 of 51, which is what you would expect to see after a loss.
Jaylen Brown has not given up his three-point shot, but he is not taking many of them at all. He's one of those guys, okay, the three isn't working, I'm going to go to the basket. He gets to the free throw line. He is executing the type of offense that the non-three-point shooting fans love. He understands that one part of his game is not working, so he's getting to the line. And he is, dare I say, Rip Hamilton-like in the mid-range.
Ooh. Yeah, does he wear a mask?
No, he does not.
Okay, well, then I wouldn't call him Rip Hamilton, would I?
Okay.
It's unfortunate that Chauncey's going through what he's going through right now. It kind of takes away from the whole narrative of that magical 04 season.
Does it for you?
Yeah, well,
the fact that he got arrested, that takes away from the 04 season for you?
It just, you don't
know if he was gambling on games back then.
No, and I have no reason to believe that he is, but it's not quite the badge of honor that you get to wear when you talk about this, these
it's 20 years later.
Great collection of guys anymore. It's Chauncey's got issues. That's all.
Wow.
That's all.
I didn't think that would happen.
We're jumping all over the place here, Fred, but do you want to hear the Felger and Maz fight with the Montreal radio guys?
Sure.
Okay. I remember this fondly. Let's see if I'm remembering it correctly.
It is over-the-top, embarrassing Yahooism on the part of you, the media, your fans, and that prosecutor. It is embarrassing.
That is just a pathetic claim. And not nearly as embarrassing as what the league is doing right now. And why don't we open it up, guys?
Nothing
we'll
like
take a break.
Fans yahoos, eh? That's not over the top.
Well, no. But what's calling a 911 number to arrest an opposing player other than Yahooism? It is the definition.
You ever hear frustration,
of
fellas? You ever hear
Yahooism.
an anger and bitterness?
Well, then call the league. Call the league.
Guys.
Call a sports talk radio show. What are you calling the cops? Are you nuts?
Time out in Boston. Time out in Montreal. We're both going to take
I'm really
a break.
shocked there's no respect in the NHL. When this guy's calling us nuts on the air, I'm really shocked that there's no respect between players when they can't be respected.
Yahoos. I didn't say nuts. I said
We're going to break. It's 4:15. Let's get traffic here and help me get it. Barry, tone it down. And guys, we'll be right back.
Yeah, they need to get the time in
that
there.
was fun. We played at the buzzer. Are they coming back to us? We're going to break. They're going to break. Then we come back. Love it. Round 2.
98.5, the Sports Hub. Felger and Maz. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
The fact that he felt so compelled to add the time there was very funny to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that scene from Private Parts where Howard's at the country radio station and they tell him he has to have the time and temperature every 10 minutes.
No. The joke is it's at WNBC and he's like Diana. This isn't the reference, but Princess Diana's just died. 6:52.
It was his grandmother.
Oh, my grandmother just died. 6:52.
We're thinking of the same thing. I'm thinking of the different station. Yeah.
Okay, so I will tell you this, and it's kind of a mixed thing. But okay, so Michigan was playing Wake Forest, and Michigan was down 2, with 30 seconds left. So I put the game on. Michigan ends up tying, and it goes into overtime. Overtime started. The score was 80-80. The overtime ended. It's a 5-minute overtime, 85-84. But I will tell you this. The college basketball game is infinitely superior to the NBA game because they can't make threes, so they don't even bother. It's all driving. There's a ton of block shots. It's just a better game. There's better ball movement. It's just more, maybe even not better ball movement, but more dramatic ball movement. It's not everything getting kicked out to a wing. There's a lot of attack in the basket. And it's interesting because Michigan's got 2 kids that are supposed to be first-round picks. One of them 7'3". And I don't know. I just enjoy the college game 1,000 times more. I found myself, kids are bricking every shot, and I'm like, this is very enjoyable.
There are some spot up, like if you talk to college coaches, they'll say paint touch threes are most important. Not necessarily getting to the lane and finishing, but getting to the lane and kicking it out to a wide open wing.
But those kids can't make threes nearly at the rate of NBA players. That's, in my opinion, the biggest difference between the leagues. Just on a surface level is just the ability to make 3-pointers. I mean, they're almost, what is the average? You think 40% in the NBA, 35% in the NBA?
You're closer to 35.
Okay, so 35% in the NBA. It's got to be 20 in college. I mean, these kids can't make anything. So they're forced. There's, putbacks, and they're forced to go to the basket. I find it much more enjoyable. Much more enjoyable.
Yeah, that's the big difference, and the sustained defense that you see in college ball. That is, I think, the biggest difference to me watching the game. Obviously, not everybody can shoot. Some guys just can't shoot at all. I watch some college basketball and think these guys just suck. Like nobody out here can shoot tonight. But the sustained defense that happens throughout the game because they're only playing for 40 minutes, and that's
the games mean more. And it's obvious argument. The games mean more. There are fewer games spread out over a long period of time. Yeah,
any league where Luka Garza can dominate,
yes,
it's a superior league to the NBA.
He played a lot last night, Luka Garza.
Yeah,
and there was a reason for it because Embiid wasn't in. If you have Drummond, who is no threat on the offensive end, you could put Luka Garza out there.
You have Garza and Drummond who are about going to keep pace with each other up and down the court.
Yeah, that's correct.
Drummond's probably like 28 years old, but you think that he's 45. But he's probably about 100 pounds heavier, I would guess, than he was at his original playing weight.
Good question. How old is Andre Drummond?
Because Drummond got into the league when he was 17.
Oh my God, he's only 32.
Yeah. Drummond didn't go to college, right?
Yes, he did. He went to UConn.
Okay, he did go to UConn.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I take it he got his degree. He was there for 4 years.
First round pick of your Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
In fact.
He was all right. He was a really good rebounder. And then
That's what he does.
Yeah. All right. Very good. We will be back in just a moment. Zack Rosenblat writes about the New York Jets and that they're playing the Patriots at Gillette tomorrow evening. We will discuss your opponent coming up in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, those scamps. They'll be right back on the Sports Hub.
Head into the 99 Rest.
Going to be a 3 technique where Williams was, and there's still going to be a corner out there where Sauce was. I hope there's not. I hope there's only 9, but I don't think there's going to be. And again, they've done a nice job all year of mixing man and zone really well. Being able to mix some pressure like they do. Backers are fast. They all run. They're edge good edge players.
The edge good. It's a big problem in the online community. Maybe we can explore that one day. These gooners. Very disturbing. Zack Rosenblat is a senior writer for The Athletic. He covers the New York Jets and the NFL. I read everything he writes, for I like the New York Jets, and they are coming here tomorrow. And Zach, thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Okay, so first of all, look, the Jets win the game after the trade deadline. It's a weird game against Cleveland, and Cleveland did everything they could to lose that game. But they did win. They've won 2 games in a row. What is the how is Aaron Glenn handling this? I know he's kind of a dick to you guys. Do you feel the team has bought in? How are they dealing with post-trade?
I mean, I think they did come out and play with a level of energy, and they made some. I mean, the special teams plays and the way they played a little on defense. Like I think they showed some signs that they're still like bought in. But I think we'll really know a little more about this team against the Patriots. Like a short week against an 8-2 team on the road. Like it's a really challenging one, and if they can come to play and you can just keep it close, then I think you feel good. But yeah, I mean they gave a better effort than I honestly thought they were going to give, even against the Browns.
Okay, so Justin Fields will have games where, in my opinion, he has the yips. Like he's afraid to turn the ball over. He gets sacked a ton, and it's not the offensive line's fault in a lot of these occasions. What is your read on what's going on with him? Because then he'll have a game like in Cincinnati where he looks good, and I know that's a bad defense, but whatever. What is your read on what's going on with Justin Fields?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of what you said, the yips. Like it seems like he's scared to throw the ball a lot of the time, and I don't know what's keeping him from doing that. I mean, he came out in week 1. He played really, really well against the Steelers. Their defense, it turns out, isn't that good, I guess, but he looked really good that week, and it was like, oh, okay, if he can play like this, and this is a different kind of season, and then, he regressed to maybe worse than he was in Chicago. So you never know what you're going to get each week with him, it seems like. And, this last week, he was pretty bad. It kind of was masked by the fact that they won. And, he had 40 of his 50 yards on that one screen pass to Breece Hall. And I think some of the play calling is, I don't think he's a good fit for the offense they want to run ultimately, and they're trying to work around his deficiencies with a running game, and it hasn't worked a lot of the times. It has worked the last couple of games. He's just ultimately not a good fit for this team, this offense, and he seems scared to throw the ball, and you just can't play quarterback in the NFL if you're scared to throw it.
Okay, so Breece Hall is their offense really right now. I know Taylor could be a good tight end, and we can get into the receivers because even as a fan, I have no idea who they are anymore. But did Hall want out at the trade deadline? And if so, what's his attitude like now? And do you think they'll keep him?
I would say I think he would have not been upset if they traded him, is how I would phrase it. But I think he's pretty highly motivated right now to prove that he deserves to get paid. He came into this season. He had a bad year last year. It was an offense with Aaron Rodgers where they did not run the ball at all. And then he saw 2 running backs from his draft class, James Cook and Kyron Williams, go and get pretty big contracts. And, he had a quote before the season where he's like, I haven't shown that I deserve it yet. And he's been pretty vocal about his frustrations over these years where he doesn't get the ball enough or they don't use him in the passing game, which, there's been weeks where he has no targets, which is crazy to me. And so I think he's just motivated to prove that he can be a workhorse. He can be a high-paid running back. And so I think you're going to see him highly motivated and playing the way he is. And if he keeps playing this way, I think the Jets have to at least consider bringing him back. I think they will. They have a lot of cap space in the offseason, so even if he didn't want to, they have the ability to franchise tag him without it really hurting them all that much. So I think there is a pretty good chance he comes back, but does he want to? I don't know the answer to that right now.
This game tomorrow night worries me for one aspect from the Patriots.
That it would be boring?
No. because everybody is saying what you're saying, Fred. And you go back the last 4 or 5 weeks. I don't think maybe since Carolina was there an across-the-board agreement that the Patriots were going to win the game.
Well,
right?
that didn't work out in Carolina.
What's that?
No, Carolina. They blew out Carolina.
That's what I'm saying. So it worked out then, but every week since then, it's like, oh, maybe they get popped by Cleveland. Oh, Atlanta's tough. Tampa Bay. So I can tell you from a Patriots perspective why the Jets could win tomorrow night and how that could happen. What would need to happen on the Jets side for them to pull off an upset?
I mean, it would take a lot of luck. I think it would take them doing kind of what they did in the Browns game. They got 2 special teams touchdowns, which is pretty hard. Like if you can get a kick return touchdown and force a turnover, like the Jets literally have 0 interceptions this season, which is a pretty remarkable stat. They forced 1 turnover, I believe. If they can force turnovers on Drake May, that's like the only chance you have. Justin Fields.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So special teams touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying. It's like stuff that we have to see stuff that hasn't happened yet, like Justin Fields' long touchdown run or whatever. Like it's like.
Well, he's done that once. In fairness, he did that in Miami. He hit a long touchdown run. He did that once.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: is that. Let's put it this way. The Jets had, as Zach just said, the Jets had a kick return and a punt return in succession for touchdowns. And it took Cleveland having 2 mind-numbingly idiotic penalties to ensure that victory. So let's put it this way. It's not kicking on all cylinders. But, look, May gets hit a lot. I will say this. So May gets hit a lot. He does. If that's his fault, the offensive line's fault, it's probably a combination. Last week, the Jets pass rush was very good. McDonald, what's his name?
Will McDonald.
Will McDonald.
4 sacks.
The fourth. Had 4 sacks. And is that something that they think can happen regularly? Like, do you look at this pass rush, even in the absence of Williams, as being capable of pulling that off more often than they have?
Not really, honestly. I mean, I think the pass rush has been it's been pretty disappointing this season. Even when they had Quinnen in there, like they had weeks where they either didn't have sacks or they had 1. Steve Wilkes likes the blitz, and the blitz hasn't worked that much. Quincy Williams had the best game of the season last week, ironically after he was benched. So as you can tell, by the way, I keep describing all these things. It's been a weird season over here, but they do have talent like Will McDonald. I think Jermaine Johnson. Their defensive tackles are okay. So it's not like a bad group, but the pass rush has not been consistent. So I don't have a lot of confidence they're going to hit Drake May a lot, but that would change everything if they did, obviously.
Okay, so the Jets are coming in here, like I said, with a group of receivers that some highly drafted that they got in trades, and I guess they insisted on at least one of these guys in a trade.
A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. You know them better than I do. What's your perspective on the talent on the field at the receiver position? Are these undersatisfied gems that have just yet to be unleashed, or what are we looking at here from an offensive perspective?
Well, you asked what my opinion is on the talent. I would say that there isn't a lot of talent there.
There you go.
It's guys like Tyler Johnson. He's like an okay veteran, and Arian Smith's a rookie who I think has 5 catches, and he's played a lot of snaps. And so, A.D. Mitchell is a guy you mentioned. They're really high in his talent. I am intrigued by him. He didn't play last week because they wanted to give him more time to adjust to the playbook and stuff. I am curious if he can, get acclimated and what that would look like. But at the end of the day, these receivers have been getting open at times, and Justin Fields doesn't see them. So it's it's hard to even say how this group is, honestly. But I would say just on paper, when you remove Garrett Wilson, it's one of the worst wide receiver groups in the NFL.
Yeah, and Garrett Wilson is not playing, and that upset Aaron Glenn very much. He was very hard on Rich Cimini. Do you think that Glenn is losing his cool, or do you think that this is just the way he is, and this isn't necessarily a negative?
I'm kind of down the middle. I do think this is who he is. I think it's getting highlighted more because they're not a good football team. If the Jets had the record of the Patriots, Rabel, I think he's a little better at his approach, but he'll have moments where he will call out the media or make fun of them or whatever it is, and he's able to do that because they're winning. If Rabel was doing that when they were 2-7, I don't think the fans would find it as cute, So I think that's part of it. I just think he doesn't help himself when he goes to the podium. He has like these grudges and he takes things personally, or he wants to control the message in a certain way. And I think it looks silly a lot of times, the QB stuff, the stuff you're referencing yesterday where he just decided he didn't want to tell us an injury update because one reporter did his job and reported that Garrett Wilson wasn't going to be playing for a few weeks, and he took it out on all of us. And, I think it's a little childish, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because it doesn't really impact winning or losing. It just creates the impression that the Jets are dysfunctional, which they are. But, it'd be better if he'd be better off not saying anything than the stuff he says, is what I would say.
Okay, so going into the season, I think at least John and I, and maybe Hardy agreed with this, is that we thought the Jets and Patriots were basically kind of the same. New coaches. May was a second-year quarterback who was good and showed promise last year, but, we didn't think he was going to be great this year. Fields was a veteran quarterback that maybe just needed another shot. So here we are, one team's 8-2, one team's 2-7. If Vrabel was the coach of this team, if Vrabel was the coach of the Jets, do you think the Jets would have a much better record than they do right now?
Oh, absolutely, I do. I think there was games where it was very clear that Aaron Glenn was learning on the job. He made some pretty mind-boggling mistakes. There's the game in London where before halftime they kind of just let the clock run out instead of trying to score a touchdown. And there's been a lot of questionable things, I think, throughout the first half of the season where, it seemed like the players were still figuring out where they were supposed to be, and the detail wasn't good. And I know Vrabel pretty well. I did a story on him last year. I spent part of the year he spent with the Browns, me and him, and I wrote this long story about his year away, and I learned a lot about how detailed he is. And I just know, especially someone who's been a head coach before, I think the Jets would have 4 or 5 wins. I don't know if they would be a playoff team or something like that, but I think they would have a couple more wins if Vrabel was their coach.
Given that, how much runway do you think Woody Johnson and the franchise are going to give Glenn moving forward?
I think all the signs point towards them having a lot of runway, but they just traded away 2 of their best players. I don't think they do that without Woody signing off on this long-term plan. And he defended him at the owners' meetings when he destroyed his quarterback a few weeks ago. But I also know that Woody Johnson is not the most patient in terms of when he gets involved. And this is a team that is about to hit 15 years without being in the playoffs, and the fans are very upset. And he looks at Twitter. And so, if the season's a wash, if they start next season 0-6, I'm not as confident that this regime will last that long, but I think we'll see. But as of now, I think they do have a little bit of runway, but that could get shortened pretty quick.
Do you think Glenn, he's learning on the job? Do you think he could be a good head coach?
I think he can be. I'm open to the idea that he's learning, and that by the end of the season we'll feel better about him than we did at the beginning. And these last 2 weeks were a good sign, but. It's kind of a TBD. I don't think he's shown that he's a great coach yet. That's for sure. He still has a lot to prove, and so I think it was harder for him than he thought it was going to be. I think he came in with a little level of arrogance because he learned from Dan Campbell and Bill Parcells and Sean Payton, and he thought he was ready. And I don't think he was ready necessarily. And so we're going to find out if he can adjust on the fly.
All right, because there's been a lot of rebuilding. And it's funny because, there are some Jets fans that are like, oh, I can't believe they're winning games. And
probably would have helped him to come into a little more stable environment in terms of offense, and maybe that would have allowed him to focus.
But Fields is playing worse than he's ever played. So, I don't know if it's entirely – there's got to be some kind of coaching situation going there. But, this is yet another rebuild, and it would be nice – if they could, but a quarterback can fix everything. That's what happened here. And you get a quarterback and we'll see. Luckily, this is an outstanding quarterback class. So, and they have all these picks. So they'll probably end up with a real stud. All right, Zach, I'm sure it's been a lot of fun. But nonetheless, you are in New York City, and that is a good place to be. Zack Rosenblat, I read you every day, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on from The Athletic. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys. It was great talking to you.
All right, there you go. Zach, so no one in the game is going to be a real laugher, is what basically everyone is saying.
And that's why Patriots fans are worried.
No.
I wouldn't be worried at all. I honestly, you know me. I honestly, no, I'm not being fatalistic, to be funny. I find the odds of this going sideways to be extraordinarily low.
You better not, John.
I know you're right. 12's going to get pissed. I don't want to do that.
All right, so we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented.
John said something before the break and that's why Patriots fans are worried. No, that was kind of my point. No Patriots fan is worried. No analyst about this is worried. I'm not worried about it. That's what worries me. There's no earthly reason to think why the Patriots would end up losing this game, and that's why I think, all right, in a season of a lot of unexpected stuff so far for the Patriots, this would be the most unexpected.
Thursday night is always a great equalizer. Oh, sorry, Fred.
Allow me.
Yes.
It's 2 days a year where I am an expert. Okay? Yeah. The 2 Jet games. Yeah. Out of 365 days a year, there are 2 days I'm an expert. I like the draft. I'm no draft expert. I just go by what other people say. There's no, I love the Bruins, but I'm no expert. I go by what other people say. I go by, that's why we have so many guests on. They're the experts. I'm the expert. No. Unless something happens and they turn the ball over 5 times, but the Jets have gotten 1 turnover. They have 1 takeaway, and it was a fumble. 1 this year. They have 0 interceptions. That's why this whole Sauce Gardner thing is fascinating to me. Like that he's gone, and it's like this whole catastrophe. I mean, you saw him. Drake London broke his ankles in the end zone. Like, I'm not convinced. Sauce Gardner's good. He's not as good as Christian Gonzalez, and I always have said that. You're on.
Yes,
I have always.
You have. You have. You've always put when we've ranked cornerbacks. You've always put Gardner behind him, and that's true.
Yes, and so look, I've seen every Jets game. Now, not as much as the game last Sunday as I did the Patriots game. Because one was a game and the other one was a catastrophe. But I did see how the Jet game ended, and the Bengals are a worse coach team than the Jets. God, I hope that Aaron Glenn can just get it together. They just need something to break from. But anyway, look, maybe the Patriots take their foot off the gas and, commit to the running game. And they kind of do what the Jets did last year where they get way up in the first half and then they kind of, let it ride in the second half. So it, on paper, isn't like a crazy blowout. But I'm not – who are the corners for the Jets? They don't have Michael Carter. They don't have Sauce Gardner. I mean, the way that May throws a deep ball, that concerns me. I don't know how much the Patriots are going to be able to run against them, but, I mean, you can. And just offensively, they stop the run, and that's all the Jets can do. Breece Hall is their entire offense, and you can't run against the Patriots' defense. No one has. Far greater offenses. The Jets' offensive line is fine, but Fields won't get rid of the ball. And now there's no receivers that I've ever heard of. I mean, I've heard of Arian Smith, but I don't know anything about him. He was a 4th-round pick. I don't know anything about the kid. I've heard of this A.D. Mitchell. I don't know anything about I've never seen him play.
You don't know the fleet of cornerbacks the Jets are rolling in here with?
Well, they got a kid from Florida State that they drafted that they like, and then they got Brownlee, who they got from Tennessee.
Brandon Stevens.
Yeah, I know their corners. But
Quantez.
Okay, I don't know who that is, but I know their corners.
Jasir Taylor.
They were comfortable. They got the GM has done some things in season that are good. They've acquired talent that Brownlee allowed them to do some things. They allowed him to get rid of Michael Carter Jr. that they were going to anyway. But whatever. Listen, the Patriots are winning. Randy, go ahead.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Randy. Randy.
Hi. Sorry. So I did want to call in. I wanted to ask you guys about. I was kind of looking into some of the more in-depth, stats for the Patriots, and there are a couple maybe minor red flags, chinks in the armor that I wanted to ask about. 3 specifically. Number 1, they're dead last in red zone percentage. Almost 74%. They've given up 17 touchdowns on 23 opponent trips to the red zone. So I think that's a little bit concerning. Number 2, the defense, I think we all know it starts a little bit slow. The numbers back that up. They're 26th in the league in opponent scoring in the first quarter. And then on the flip side of that, the offense, which this might be explained by the fact that they tend to be winning the games and late in the game, so they're not really pressing to score as much as they are to run down the clock. But still, 29th in the league in fourth quarter scoring, 4.6. So I just worry that as we get into like fully healthy playoff teams that we'll be playing against, it might be hard to overcome those early deficits.
Yeah, but it wasn't against Tampa. Listen, the point about teams having successful first drives and first quarters is very relevant. The red zone thing doesn't bother me because the May is so effective deep. And look, when they don't have Stevenson, it's very difficult for them in short yardage, I would assume, at the goal line as it was against Tampa Bay. They needed a miracle play.
Defensively. The red zone.
The red zone defensively. Okay.
I saw this stat also, and I believe it was Jim Nantz that said, yes, they have the worst red zone percentage of anybody, but they also give up the fewest red zone trips of any NFL team.
Yes.
And I'm looking at opposing plays in the red zone. This season, the Patriots have allowed 63 opponent red zone plays.
You add 6 to that.
Fifth best.
Add 6 to that, you get 69. Rob, go ahead.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, Fred, do you know who A.D. Mitchell is? Don't
Right.
you? The Colts former receiver?
Yes. Go ahead. I know what you're going to say.
You were tracking.
Go ahead. Because I have a point to make.
He's the guy that dropped the ball before he crossed the goal line. It cost the Colts a win against the Rams.
Yeah, because the Jets had a second-round pick that dropped the ball before he got to the goal line last year. And they cut him, so they needed another guy that did it. So I think that's why they made the A.D. Mitchell. Yeah, A.D. Mitchell dropped the ball before he got over the goal line, and he never really recovered in Indianapolis. Indianapolis got good receivers, so, I mean, not great, but, I mean, it's like okay, and he just couldn't crack the lineup. Look, if you're talking about A.D. Mitchell being a factor in the game, and he's never even played for the Jets, I don't think that's something that's going to happen. I wouldn't be concerned. And if it does, just put Gonzalez on him, and then you don't have to worry about him anymore. Have Gonzalez follow A.D. Mitchell all over the field if you want to. But then Mechie might get loose. And he's got that Canadian Football League pedigree. So, we'll get into that.
Well, he's still got Grey Cup dreams, so I don't know if he's going to be able to get his head in the game for tomorrow night.
That's true. I don't even know if he knows what he's playing for. So, all right. So we'll be back in just a moment.
More. Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins won again last night, and David Pastrnak reached a career milestone.
And here's Pastrnak off a feed from Geeky, just outside, and he scores! Pastrnak going back and forth in front of Hildeby, and he gets number 400 in his career, and the Bruins have a 4-1 lead.
That is Ryan Johnston here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Ron, David Pastrnak scored career goals 400 and 401 last night and added an assist. Bruins won their 7th in a row, 5-3 over Toronto at TD Garden. They'll visit Ottawa tomorrow night. Celtics lost in Philadelphia last night, 102-100. Jaylen Brown, 24 points. Celtics had the ball last, but they had to settle for a Derek White 40-footer that missed. The Green are 5-7. They play tonight at home against Memphis. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots host the Jets tomorrow night. Ramondre Stevenson and Kayshon Boutte both out at practice yesterday. Both were limited. Rob Gronkowski will sign his one-day contract and retire as a Patriot at 12:15 this afternoon. And Travis Hunter out for the rest of the Jacksonville season after undergoing knee surgery yesterday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Boston Vision. Tired of reading glasses? Imagine life with clear, crisp vision and no glasses. Boston Vision can correct your vision quickly and safely, just like they did for Boston legend David Ortiz. Book your free consultation today at bostonvision.com, because your best vision is Boston Vision. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today. Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy.
That's what. If you would like to watch this program, one can do so on YouTube. Knows all about the digital game. He's over covering the Celtics for NBC Sports Boston. Hi, Chris.
Hello, friend. Good morning.
All right. Now, you are going to participate in something. We'll get to the Celtics later. There's obviously not 2 breaks worth of Celtics to talk about, so let's be honest. Okay, I don't know how familiar you are and how much of the show you listen to on a regular basis, but yesterday, as is usual, Judy Garland came up. Or not Judy Garland, but
Joan Crawford.
Joan Crawford came up.
Yeah, that per usual.
Per usual. And so what did come out of that conversation, though, is that a question came to me, and I knew who to ask. And it was, why do gay people like her so much? And I asked Adam. Now, is Adam gay? No. Why would Adam know more about gay culture than anyone else? Who knows? But Adam, not only with gay culture, that's just a very small subset of his knowledge, is someone that we do, even in meetings, find ourselves like you don't have to. Now, here's what's great about Adam. You don't have to watch your language around him. You don't have to worry about offending him.
Right.
Which makes him why he's, I think, our friend, is that, but he's a perfect friend because you can't offend him, but he knows why you should be offended.
Exactly. and if you want to be enlightened, or you want the opinion or the information from someone who is more evolved, there's no one better to turn to than Adam 12.
Yeah, he's got his finger on the pulse of things that annoy.
Right. That's perfectly said, Fred. So if you ever encounter something in popular culture, or in this case today, films, and you want to know what's...
Play you a clip from, now in this case, film.
Okay.
And then you'll have to explain... sort of, Hardy, like why people are into it, or like what's happening.
What the hell's going on?
All right.
Okay.
Sure.
So what are the odds that 12 knows each of these clips without any heads up? To
game within the game.
I would say fairly likely, but I don't know.
All right, let's start with this one. How long before he identifies, A, what this is, and B, what's going on?
I'm glad we caught you at home. Could we use your phone? We're both in a bit of a...
What's going on with that?
That has become a cult classic over the last.
I'm aware of that, Adam, but the question more is why.
It's created this wonderful community. The midnight viewings of that movie for years and years and years. I believe it was.
These are all facts. I want to know why.
Well, because it's community. It gives you an opportunity to go and throw things at the theater screen.
But I could throw things at anything.
No, you can't. You can't do that at a regular movie. You and Zoe can't start chucking your custom-made soda pops at the screen. You get kicked out of the theater. You go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and you're with all these.
What's on the
you see what's on the slab with all these people that are like you.
Yeah, but why am I supposed to like it?
Oh, I didn't say you had to like it.
No. But why am I supposed to like it?
I don't. Because it's different. Because it stands out. It's an experiential thing. But it's also not for everybody.
Well, Fat Mike said it was like the cultural experience of his life. So.
It's funny. I remember going to my first screening of that back when I worked at WFNX.
Back when he was 8.
Well, it was my only because all kidding aside, I wasn't a big fan of it. I was like, it's fine. It's campy. It's fine.
Well, that's kind of what we're getting at is that you might not be a fan of it, but you should be.
It's more about the routine. It's more about the going to it and experiencing it.
Okay, not a great example, but all right, go ahead.
All right.
What's next?
All right, so that is from a cultural thing with Tim Curry and the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is really more of a social caste system type thing. Which, Adam, what is this?
Welcome to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Doctors, lawyers never get beyond 16,000 rupees. He's on 10 million. What can a slumdog possibly know?
He went on the show because I thought she'd be watching.
Adam,
yes.
Why is Slumdog Millionaire so important?
Okay, so you got me a little bit on this one because I actually haven't seen this film.
We had the director in talking about it.
Yes.
We had him in before the movie came out.
Chris Forsberg, have you seen Slumdog Millionaire? Can you throw me a lifeline on this one?
I wish I could help you here, 12. I have likewise not a big movie guy.
I'm familiar with the plot, though.
Let me ask it this way: what would a poor do with 20 million rupees anyway?
That's right, because it's a little kid from the slums, and he wins all the money on the game.
Adam, what would you do with 20 million rupees?
What would I do with 20 million rupees? How much is that in American money? I don't know.
Let's say it's $1 million.
$1 million. So what am I going to do with $1 million? I'm going to send both of my kids to college, and then have no money left over because that's going to pretty much eat all that up, probably.
All right.
Would you give any to the wildlife fund?
If there was some left over, yes.
Okay.
Fred, did you get the latest issue of Trust for Public Land? The quarterly, yes.
I did.
Came out this week.
I did get it.
Looking forward to digging into that this week.
I threw it away, but I did get it.
I hope you recycled it and throw it away.
I did recycle.
Thank you.
Fred asked something earlier about the Rocky Horror Picture Show in terms of why he should like it. There's something from another film. Why is this supposed to be funny? And this is a film I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to identify. This is the climax of this celebrated comedy.
How long you been in country, soldier?
I ain't even here, Sergeant. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Right on, brother.
Adios, Esposito.
Adios, Sarge.
Yes.
Maybe we'll meet again someday when the fighting stops.
Okay, so this is the raucous comedy, which is
This is Rushmore from Wes Anderson.
Now, I saw
His second
Rushmore
film.
in the theater, and I turned to my date afterwards, and I said, why was everyone laughing? Why was everyone laughing, Adam?
I saw Rushmore in the theater, and as soon as it was over, said to my girlfriend at the time, we need to come and see this again. It was that.
Why?
Good. Because it was not like anything else that had come out of the time. This is 1998.
But if they just showed poo running down the screen for an hour and a half, that would be like anything was made before.
That's not fair. That was made before by John Waters, but
not for the full movie.
No, that's true. But no, this again was almost like a cultural event for nerds like me. This film that is funny, but in these subversive ways.
It's funny in a way that's not so funny that it's funny.
Yes, that's a good way to sum it.
How'd you convince yourself it was funny, buddy?
I didn't have to convince myself. I enjoyed it. And you know what? You know what's part of it, too?
Was it the outfits? Were they fun?
No, that came in the next film, in the Royal Tenenbaums with the matching
They wore
tracksuits.
tracksuits.
No, in all seriousness, though, part of of course it's not a funny film.
Which was that movie was all seriousness.
But it's an emotionally complex film. So when it takes you down into these emotional depths, when it does,
you're saying we don't get it.
And
Sorry,
some comedy,
we're out of
it
time.
feels a little bit higher.
What he's saying is, by the way, he's having a hard time justifying any of these things. But that one is just kind of, you don't get it.
Yeah.
I'll live with that. Go
It's
ahead.
not for. I wouldn't put it that way. I would
Well,
just
of course,
say
it's not for anyone. It's only for the very elite. All right. So what's next?
Adam 12, not just a lover of film and midnight screenings of Rocky Horror Picture Show and comedies that not everyone thinks is funny, but he's also a lover of nature. Adam 12, what's going on with this guy?
I mean, you're really good. I mean, you're like 100,000 times better than any
this
apple
jackass.
I've ever had. I'm not Superman, I'm Super Tramp. You're Super Apple. You're so tasty.
A good apple.
You're so organic. You're so natural.
All right, Adam.
Yes.
You're the apple in my eye.
Okay, so it's from Into the Wild, which I know
Yes.
you're not a fan of.
Yes.
But why is he having such a religious experience eating an apple off a tree?
Because he's an idiot. That's why. Because Christopher McCandless is a selfish fool who decided that he was going to romanticize Thoreau and the like by going into the woods completely unprepared and not only put his own life in danger, which did.
How do you
because of
romanticize
his
Thoreau?
stupidity. Not in this way. I do so responsibly.
Which is what?
I go down to Walden Pond and I go for a swim during the summertime. I go for a hike during the fall.
And what is that hike called when you're looking at the signs? What is it called when you walk around?
It's called an amble. Yeah, it's a little amble.
Maybe the rain is really to blame.
Adam,
Yes,
do you like
right.
that it's called an amble?
I do like that. I like archaic words like that. It's almost like having an in-joke with somebody.
When you go to an apple orchard.
Yes.
See, you make fun of it because you're too wrapped up in that it's from in the wild. When you go to an apple orchard and you pick that apple off the tree and you bite into it, the juices run down your face. Why is it so good?
It's my favorite lived experience, Fred, what you just described. Going into an apple orchard, pulling an apple off of the tree on a crisp fall day and biting into that apple under the autumn sun.
Come up to the lab.
Is it because it's free and you don't have to pay for that apple?
Ironically, you pay a lot more.
Well,
to
not
get
if
the
it's not
orchard
in the
apples.
bucket.
That's a good point.
All right,
Yeah.
finally 12.
Yes.
Would you eat an apple out of a dumpster, Adam?
No.
As you are now producing this show, which sometimes does sports, there is a sporting-related film that really has more to do with these women and getting all emotional about something. I just don't understand what's going on here.
Hear that call.
Johnny knows it.
The time has come for one and all to play ball.
All right, so that is League of Their Own,
Okay,
Adam.
I thought it was a musical for a minute there.
Adam.
Yes.
Why was it so important that they made League of Your Own?
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and
That's a better question than I was.
I'm gonna go ahead.
What are these broads getting so worked up about?
Let's pull Chris Forsberg back into the
No,
conversation.
Adam.
Because I know that he's a
This isn't my
WNBA
segment.
guy.
This isn't his segment.
And there's
Adam,
a little bit of overlap.
Adam, why is it so important those women get some credit?
I think they're a big part of the history of America, of American
Are they though,
sport.
really, Adam?
And I
Is
think-
the history of the America centered around the brief women's baseball league?
Is it more about the Harvey Bar than it is
I
about
can't
the
even
actual...
play into this as a bit. That movie stinks. The whole thing stunk.
Rockford Peaches.
Who cares? Like really? Like everyone skips that part of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Who cares?
What if you were given a Rockford peach? Not a woman, but the actual peach.
Not a big fan of stone fruits, Fred. Sorry to say. Peaches, plums, if that's a stone fruit. Not a big
I'll
fan.
remove the cores.
How much of a backlash was there when you stopped seeing Rocky Horror Picture Show with your bros?
Only went the once.
Was there a backlash? Was there pressure on you to return?
With anticipation.
Adam!
Wait for it.
Patient.
There we go. Continue.
Adam.
Yes, right.
Why is the musical theater so important?
We really don't have time.
Yeah, we really don't have time for that. You know what? Because it gives outlets for kids like mine and Hardys to be able to go out and create. That's why.
They couldn't have created any other way.
No,
huh?
that's that.
Ceramics is too limiting.
Theater speaks to them in a way.
No, not
in a
theater.
creative way.
Musical theater
speaks to them in a way that they need to tap into their full potential.
Did you ever do a massage circle?
No.
Sometimes that's a bonding experience between cast members, I've been told.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure, yes, absolutely.
So you have done that?
Not a circle, but a line. We would do it in a line, yes.
Well, then if you're at the very back of the line, you're not getting a massage from anyone.
It's a whole.
That's where the teacher goes.
It's a whole human centipede experience.
Have you ever done a human centipede, Adam?
Yes, absolutely.
If you were hungry enough, would
but
you?
I'm the front. Only the front. You're getting a presentation after the show today.
What's on the slab?
What was on the slab?
Jeez, it's been a long time since I've seen it. I don't know, some weirdo from the.
Was it meatloaf?
Oh no, he made himself a Frankenstein, but he was a hunk, right? A big blonde hunk.
I'll remove the cause, but not the symptom.
Tim Curry's first role, Frank-N-Furter.
Yeah. Surprisingly. And then
Mm-hmm.
he got to do the TV version of it.
Yes.
So everything went from there to
That's
that.
right.
All right. Listen, Chris Forsberg, thank you for joining us. It's been great to have you. All right,
Had a
Chris.
great time.
All right, Chris, we will be back. We will talk to you about the Celtics coming up in just a moment.
You're listening to Dr. and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Maybe you've just heard Adam, and it made you question ever getting an erection again. But if you are...
don't know.
Everyone agrees that I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
It's just the process of understanding where we could get better. And again, we always talk about those plays that we could be better at throughout the whole game, and then just executing down there. So just have to have the mindset of where we can get better, and when we're in that situation again, execute.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and we do have Chris Forsberg on the line. If you were in studio, Chris, you would have participated more in the last segment. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I was perfectly fine to play my role, stand in the corner waiting for my three-point shot.
All right, well, here's your chance. Okay, so obviously last night the Celtics lose by 2 against Philadelphia. That didn't have Paul George, didn't have Joel Embiid, which might be a good thing. I mean, that might be a good thing.
They clearly get up and down the floor a lot better without him.
So are things going in a way that you did not expect them to go at the beginning of the year? Are things playing out a little differently, or is this about what you thought was going to happen?
What's weird is I thought coming into the year with the changes to the roster, with Jason Tatum injured, that the losses might not sting as much, that we'd be okay, tempered expectations, like they're in a different place. Maybe we just enjoy that they were super competitive at times. And yet I found myself more often than not at the end of these games getting like kind of worked up because, one, I think they're better than people gave them credit for coming into the season, but then they have all these lapses in key spots, and especially in the late game execution, whether it's failing to box out against Utah and letting Nurkic get the putback when Nimi didn't get a body on him, to last night when Jalen's a little bit out of position and Oubre gets the putback. And then late game, they can't kind of get a good offensive set when they need one. So maybe my expectations are still way out of whack. Maybe I need to understand that this is going to be a little bit of a learning process. But I'm just surprised they haven't been more crisp in those situations, because they do still have guys that have been there, and they haven't been able to put together 48 minutes. So they've got to tighten that up a little bit. There's been a lot of good that's happened, and it's been largely masked by their inability to win close games.
Is it just me, Chris, or does this team not pass the ball well either? It seems that ball movement is a big problem, and there's a lot of one-on-one stuff.
Yeah, so Scal brought it up, I think, in our postgame last night, that they just missed some sometimes easy baskets, some drop-offs to Nimi, some sprays to the corner when a guy might be open, and yeah, like they're not right now. I mean, the assist numbers bear it out. Like they're one of the bottom 5 assist teams in the league right now, which is jarring because they've been such a high assist team in recent seasons. So it's fair to wonder like how they can get better at that. I think Jalen's been good in sections. Like there were a couple passes last night where I thought he drove to the basket and made a pass that he probably wouldn't have in past seasons, and is really good in those moments. Some of your passing woes will be alleviated if Derek White just starts making shots again. And outside of the third quarter last night, it's been pretty rough go for him. One of his rougher first halves last night. So maybe some of that stuff will organically get a little bit better, but. Part of when you don't have a Tatum, when you don't have Drew Holiday, when you lose that sort of talent, the passing gets a little bit worse, and it's harder to create the good looks that they've created in the past.
Did you expect that from Derek White? I mean, all the conversation preseason was about Jaylen Brown and how he was going to be able to answer the bell with Jason Tatum being out. Derek White, I just assume, would be the same old Derek White, dependable, reliable, and he's going to have pretty solid stats. So is it surprising to you to see him struggle in an elevated role?
Yeah, 100%. Like he's been so good the last few years. I didn't think it would matter elevating to a different role. Like even if you think going from fourth or third option to the second option, you watch some of these shots and it's just, he's missing wide open looks. Caught one in the corner last night when he was going through it. He kind of took like one of those, you see guys catch it and take a rhythm dribble. And I would say a good amount of the time that kind of just locks you in and gets you going. And he totally bricked it. And I don't know. I can't put my finger on why. He's been pretty adamant that it's not the increased attention, that it's not the fact that he's now sort of option number 2. It's more that he's just missing shots, and that's got to be frustrating for him. He's had occasional slumps. It's cost him probably an all-star nod probably 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago. So to see him do it out of the gates is a little jarring. I think he needs one night, see the ball go in the basket, and maybe I thought that third quarter was going to unlock him last night. Made 5 of 6 shots, 3 threes. Felt like he was maybe finally ready to unlock, and then had a bad fourth quarter with shooting. So he's just got to. I don't know. Like it's easy to say keep shooting, stick with it, but yeah, of all the players, his struggles have been the most jarring, just not being able to get that shot to go.
You have your big 3 or 4 at the top of this roster, and then you have a bunch of other guys that are kind of scrapping for playing time. Minot was a guy that everyone loved, and then we barely saw him last night. Jordan Walsh was a guy that everyone was waiting to arrive, and all of a sudden there he is defending the other team's top guy at the end of the game. I mean, do you have a kind of an idea of who deserves playing time and who doesn't at this point?
Minot's had an issue with fouling, and especially usually comes in for his second shift, and it just seems maybe a little over anxious. Usually picks up, if he had 2, he gets his 3rd, and it's tough to put him back out there. I think they've been really hard trying to get him to be a little bit more disciplined. The energy is great, but it's got to be harnessed the right way. I think they know. He had that 21-point game a couple of games ago. You can see the potential. He's just got this is what 21, 22-year-old guys do. And Walsh is the same way. Like, I think Walsh finally kind of figured out like how he has to play in that Washington game. He came in and he was just relentless going after rebounds. And sometimes that, gives you a little bit of, gives your coach confidence in why you're out there, especially when that was the biggest weakness of the team to that point. Same deal. Like, it's been good to see him put a string of games together. You got to be able to do it, not just over 1 or 2 or 4, but over the course of 20 games or whatever the case may be. But I think it's good to see a guy like Walsh kind of figure out where he can be most impactful. I think it could help unlock him a little bit in terms of like now he's shooting with a little bit of confidence, and we'll see where that goes. And Minot and Ugo and all these guys that have shown flashes have just got to figure out how to do it consistently and how to impact winning when that shot's not falling or you're not getting touches, and how do you be a little bit more disciplined out there. But I think the bench overall has been like one of the bigger surprises. Like, I didn't think as quickly as they have that like Walsh and Ugo would be as impactful, and especially with their defense. I think that's one of the more encouraging signs is, wins and losses aside, trying to find guys that would be part of your next championship caliber team. Like, who are the pieces that when Tatum's back are comprising rotation roles? And I think Ugo and Walsh clearly have set themselves apart as guys that will help you, especially on the defensive end.
Okay, do you see this getting better?
It's interesting. The schedule has been. I know people all think I'm all green Kool-Aid. Like, I'm not giving them any outs. Like, the record should be better. And I think how we view this season would be different if you don't fumble away the Utah game, if you find a way to win a couple of these Philly games. The schedule was pretty tough out of the gates.
In fairness to the schedule, I mean, they're playing the East. I mean, the teams they've lost to in the East are the teams in the East, if that makes any sense. Like, the 76ers, the Knicks, the Pistons, the Magic, these are teams that are in the East. So, like, if you can't, the schedule might have been tough, but, I mean, these teams aren't going anywhere. These are the teams they got to play. If you went out west and you, like, had a bad road trip, you can go, okay, they went out west and had a bad road trip. But if you're losing repeatedly to the 76ers, you're losing the Knicks, you're losing the Pistons, you're losing the Magic, that's not going anywhere. These are the teams you have to be.
They have to be better. And I think that's, like, if they're going to be a team that wants to be in the middle of the East pack or something more once, if Tatum comes back later in the year, then they've got to take it up a level.
Would you want him to come back?
And I believe the question was, can it get better? I mean, can you answer the question once and for all, Forsberg, instead of dancing around it? I'm tired of this sparring that you're doing.
Yeah, I'm tired of it too.
Answer the question. Can it get better?
Yeah.
I don't come in the studio one time and I'm getting toned.
You didn't get to talk about golf beforehand. You got him all riled up.
I know.
You edged him.
I wanted desperately to tell him how I played yesterday in the snow, and he would have thought I was a lunatic.
Oh, you're an idiot.
It can get better. there can be more consistency with this team. I can't tell you if it will, how fast that will happen. I think some of these young guys just have to kind of go through it, and we'll see if they learn from it. I think we've now seen multiple instances where at the end of games, they haven't even been able to get a good shot off. That has to change. That's on Joe to put his players in better position. That's on the players to not feel rushed, and for Derek White to rush a shot up with 2 seconds left. It's for Nemi to not smoke and wide open putback with 0.5 on the clock. Like, that can get better, but it comes down to they have to understand, like, the margin's slim. You know, like, you let up a couple of putbacks and all of a sudden that tips a game. And so there's been too many times where they haven't been up to the standard that they have to get better. But it's on them. Like, they can determine if it'll get better. Like, can Derek White get out of this funk? Can guys box out in key spots? Like, that will determine if they can get better.
Do you think Missoula gets fired this year?
No. Is that like a common question on the show?
No, I just was thinking. I was just thinking of something to ask.
They trade Tatum before he comes back from injury?
No, this is a serious question. Would you even have Tatum come back this year?
Yes.
I absolutely would not.
Why?
Because
are you a doctor?
Oh, nice.
No, but I know a lot about vaccines. They're bad. And I can certainly tell you there's I don't have a podcast, so I'm not a doctor. No, but I would treat it.
Well, you haven't done your own research. That's the problem.
Give me a week to listen to some podcasts, Chris, and I'll get back to you on the medical expertise of it. No, but I'm not a doctor, Chris. Thank you for that challenge. That is, you've now got me. The audience now knows I do not have a medical degree. But
you're dancing around. Why wouldn't you answer the question?
I wanted to make jokes, Chris, because I'm trying to add some. I'm trying to make some comedy here. But no, in all seriousness, like, because if the season's just kind of is what it is, and you're going into a play-in tournament, I don't want to mess around with that Achilles. Like, I don't want to do it. All I can imagine is that you can only get it stronger, right? Like, I know the actual tendon can't get stronger, but like, you can only get stronger, build around that tendon, let that surgery take hold, and then just it's like a pitcher. Like, if a pitcher had, Tommy John surgery or had labrum surgery or something, and you could rush him back at the end of the season where you might make the playoffs, you might not. If it was my team, I would say I absolutely don't want this guy pitching. Just give him some more time to get healthy. It's the same thing with Tatum. Because if Tatum goes out there and you're playing in a play-in game and he re-injures himself, even if it's not his Achilles, even if it's just some other part of that leg that atrophied or wasn't as strong as it should have been, while he was recovering, now you're talking about missing him more. You know what I'm saying? I would just err on the side of caution with it.
100%. And when it first happened, that's the kind of the camp I was in. I was like, why would you even think about bringing him back until the 26-27 season? You're in transition anyway. Learn what you got. There's a lot of other things you can accomplish. I think the one thing that we just can't figure, we can't know is just, is there an increased risk? If by February he is cleared enough hurdles and all the strength tests tell you that Achilles is okay, good luck telling Jason Tatum he can't go back on the basketball court. Like, this is what he's working so hard to do, to get back there. And I don't think it's not like a speed thing. I think he's attacking this the right way. And I'm sure if they tell him, like, hey, you need another month before we're confident this is going to, he'll do it. But if he gets to a point where he can get out there, he can shake some rust, I would love to get that part of it in the rearview mirror, for him to be able to have a normal off season, for him to be able to come in next year and it's not game one. It's like, oh my God, Jason Tatum's back out on the court.
Let me just give you a scenario. Okay, so you're going to put him on like a minutes restriction, or there's something going on, and you get into a play-in game and it's the fourth quarter and you're down by 4, and there's 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter and he hits his minutes restriction. Are you pulling him out of that game?
That's something the organization, and that's why Brad Stevens and the doctors, and they all get paid a lot of money to make that decision. I would say, why put yourself in that position? Maybe that's a scenario where you're like, hey, playoff intensity, you're not ready for that. Jason Tatum is not.
There's a lot of, you're putting a lot of restrictions on this thing. So you'd let him play in the regular season, but if they make the playoffs, he can't play in the playoffs.
I think it's a bridge you have to cross. How comfortable are you with?
Well, good luck telling him he can't play in the playoffs.
100%. I'm not saying this is easy.
I won. I mean, we have to agree I won. We have to agree I won. All right, Chris, better luck next time. As I remain, I got the victory in that conversation.
I was going to say, and undefeated. It's just, you never lose these things.
No.
When you can.
Sports debate.
That's right.
I'm always number one.
Yeah.
I get into my almanacs I keep in my backpack. All right, Chris. We always love having you on. Hopefully you can come in again in person soon. We miss you. Hardy certainly misses the banter you have. And John wasn't able to intercept you in the hallway.
Yeah, John wasn't able
upset about that.
Jump out of his chair for the first time today and go out there and get a little me time with you.
So
it wasn't just the schedule. It was I just felt like there was too much drama when I was in there. So just trying to give you a week to get things on track, and then we can go back to talking power tools and golf, and John can blitz me for some basketball talk in the hallway.
This is a guy who knows his own value.
Yeah.
This is a guy that knows he's the straw that stirs the drink.
He gets it.
Well
played. He may have lost the argument, but he gets it.
Yeah. Yeah. You ended on a high note, buddy. All right, there
Thank
you go. Chris
That's what I like to
Forsberg. NBC Sports Boston. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Lady, y'all.
All right, appreciate it. Here are the headlines. What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sport.
Works on the algorithm on Instagram, and this is not going to be one of them that does. But I wanted Nick to make a video of something because we have a caller. He's just a guy. We don't know him. He's not a comedian, but he does a Blind Scott imitation that makes us laugh about as hard as anything makes us laugh. And we had him call in today. We actually had him called in. We emailed the guy and asked if he called in. We didn't tell him what to do. And he did about 2 minutes of Blind Scott. And it's a tribute to Blind Scott. Blind Scott, if you're listening, you have an email today. I hope everything's okay.
Oh.
Not once. It's weird.
So,
what?
Yeah.
So, Nick, this is for the listeners, like hardcore listeners of the show. Nick has put a video up at Toucher and Hardy. If you must, you can see it at Fred Toucher. It's not going to get a lot of traction. It's not going to get into your algorithm because it's just something random from the show. But if you're a fan of the show and know of the show, this is something specifically for you. Because it's not something that someone that doesn't listen is going to. In fact, someone who like goes sports hub is going, what the hell is this?
Right.
Not talking about sports.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. And then you go, all right. But I think it's really funny. And it's not us doing anything. It's the caller. And so that's why it's kind of got a little magic to it. Because this guy just called in randomly a couple weeks ago, and he was so great. We actually reached out to him. I'm not positive we've done that before. Like a guy just did something so legitimately funny. We were like, yes, we have. The poet laureate guy.
For the Red Sox.
So that's not fair. We've done that on some occasions.
And we have asked Zach to participate in stuff with us before because his emails were so good.
Yeah, there's emailers that are great that we use their emails every day. Like if you participate with the show, we definitely appreciate it. Now I'm terrible about getting back to people, and I really don't look at my Instagram stuff like the all the
DMs.
Yeah.
And those slip past my radar. I've got like a ton of them right now that I need to reply to.
Let's put it this way. I saw Bobby Kelly, who I know. I'm not like friends with him, but I know him pretty well. Like for a comedian, like for someone I'm not friends with. And I saw him at Comics Come Home, and he killed. He did like a half an hour. He was the best.
Wow.
Sebastian Maniscalco, who I didn't know much about, was great too. And they were the two guys at the end, and they were by far the best, and that's not a knock on anyone else. They just were. And the person I was with who was unfamiliar with Bobby Kelly was like, wow, he's fantastic. And he even made fun of some of the stuff that had gone on before in a very clever way, which I enjoy because it was sort of mean. But I like DM'd him because I didn't want to text him, and I DM'd him, and I'm like, hey, this is great, da-da-da-da-da. And like, it hasn't been read or gotten back to, and it never even occurred to me. Like, I'm just like, yeah, he's not looking at DMs. So that's kind of how it is for me. I just don't really look at him, which I'm probably missing out on a lot of opportunity there. There's probably a lot of very, very famous people in there asking me to collab.
I would think so, or just asking for your tutelage.
If the Rizzler's listening and you're trying to get at me through DMs, please email. Because I'm not going to get your DM. Or anyone in that Boom universe. AJ, Big Justice, any of those guys. My son will send me those videos because he knows they drive me insane. And I have a rant in my kitchen that's not appropriate that he filmed and showed to his friends. It's not appropriate. But so he'll send me all those videos. And they're just like, it's insanity. That I know who these people are. They do nothing. And I know who they are.
They can't be getting the same traction they were getting 2 years ago. They can't. It's got to be waning because that's just how that stuff works. You can't do a bit that's that stupid and do it for like 5 years.
Like my daughter asked me to do a bit with her one time that was like viral, where you dance like in the background while the person like lip syncs to the song, and we did it, and like people liked it. I couldn't imagine going like, "Hey, let's do this every day."
Every day.
Like every day, and then for what? Like, what did they get? How much money did they get? Like, I mean, when is it worth it? Like, to gather up my kids every day and go, like, today we're putting on a show.
Yeah.
Even if they're into it, it's like, say you get like some money from companies like to hawk their crap. Like, is that worth it? What a very strange place. Like, if I feel like I'm more ethical than some people, that's an issue because I don't think I'm like.
Oh no,
that
I would say you are ethically bankrupt.
See, I don't think that's fair because maybe 20 years ago I would have been considered
morally, I would say you're actually okay. It's the ethics where you really, really come up short.
Morally, I'm pretty boring, quite frankly. I'm coming to. That's another thing with the internet that I realized is that I'm quite boring. I texted you an article, Adam, that we can explore tomorrow.
Yes.
There's a foot community that is having. It's been emailed to me several times. There's a foot community that's having some problems. Because there's interlopers coming in that aren't in for the barefoot on the grass lifestyle, eschewing shoes. They're in it for a sexual rush.
Oh, no.
So they're having a lot of trouble vetting the people in the community.
Well, I would think the Venn diagram between people who just want to walk around barefoot and the people who are turned on by feet, there's a significant crossover there.
Sure.
It just can't be all about grounding for these people.
This is from a legitimate newspaper. It's from a legitimate publication, and it's a whole thing. And I read some article about these things that go online. I'm realizing that I am quite boring, and I am actually very happy for that. I have no fetish that seems to get in the way, and I am not addicted to anything online pornography-wise, which I'm finding to be. And I've never found cartoons attractive since Brenda Starr when I was little.
Oh, Brenda Starr, reporter.
I used to cut them out and hide them because I thought if my parents found them, I'd get in trouble.
Well, your mom did, then she left them on your pillow.
That was
no, wait,
Jugs.
that was Jugs.
That was a Jugs
Something
magazine.
else. Come on, 12.
My mother cleaned my room and found a Jugs magazine and left it on my pillow.
That's not passive aggressive
No,
at all.
and like, so reverse it and say, like, I was cleaning my son's room, which I don't have to do because he's crazy OCD with that stuff. He's very much like his mother. And so, but like, I couldn't in a million years imagine finding, like, say they still made them, like a porn magazine and like going,
yeah,
like, and putting it on his pillow. Like, I would just leave it alone. I don't know why she did that. We should call her and ask her why she did that. Oh boy, that will go over well.
Be a good segment.
Mom, remember that Jugs that had pregnant chicks in it? But look, I didn't buy it. It was just something that was laying around. I don't know how I got it. Obviously, it was from
Got in the woods. That's what we did back in the day.
It was clean enough to be brought into the house.
So much porn in the woods.
Woods porn stayed in the woods. No, this was a clean magazine. No, you couldn't take you'd have to be a real freak to take the porn from the woods home.
No one ever took it home. It was
I
just
did,
there.
and I got busted.
Oh boy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Well, I crumpled up one that was really good, but I even crumpled. I wanted this. This had to be part of my possessions for the rest of the time. And like an idiot, I walked in the house with something like balled up in my fist and not having my magician skills yet, honed. I didn't know how to misdirect by like waving with the other hand and pointing at something else. And my mother immediately said, "What do you have in your hand?" I'm like, "Nothing." And they'd give it to me. Yeah. And it was a honey of the month.
15, 16?
I don't remember. No, it's younger than that. If he was
15,
in the woods.
16. No, I was like 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's a whole thing, but I don't remember like a ton from when I was younger, but I remember every porn magazine that I had, aside from Playboys. I had like a box of Playboys. Those were easy to get. I had an Adult Video News, that Jugs, and then at one point I had a Penthouse that was glossy, and my mom caught me burning it in the bathroom because I was so disgusted with it. Because there was peeing.
Oh,
that I burnt it, which is some weird mental thing that was going on.
But burning the glossy.
Magazine. It was basically like a fire. It was just smoking out of control.
So I held on to the LaToya Jackson Playboy and one of the what's her name? Married to Donnie Wahlberg.
Jenny McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy Christmas Playboys.
Isn't it funny when you see like one of the covers in like on a show or something, and you're like,
yeah,
you're like,
I had that.
Like there's one with a newscaster that was naked, and I'm like, see it, and I'm like, that was mine. I had that one. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment. Ryan Johnson will be joining us. Johnston.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Check out new fall savings at
that was his mind to get it to Geeks to top it over me.
Pastrnak Woodland guy.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's got a couple of memberships. He's very wealthy. Ryan Johnston called the game last night. I heard his call of the game as I was in the car for some of it, but what a game last night. Great game. A lot of menace, a lot of physicality, and the Bruins come out on top 5-3. I was enraptured. It was the first game this year that I wasn't at, that I was completely invested in. Not looking at my phone, which is very difficult for me to do. Not looking at a computer. I was completely invested in the game because it got awful chippy after Austin Matthews went down. Ryan Johnston, of course, is the voice of the Boston Bruins on 98.5 The Sports Hub. That had to be a fun one last night, Ryan.
Been a lot of fun ones lately, Fred. But yeah, last night was, I wish the NHL would figure this out, that when you have games that are back-to-back or in close proximity with each other, as the Bruins and Maple Leafs did, playing Saturday, and then, the Maple Leafs had a game in between, but the Bruins played in back-to-back games for them. Or like tonight, they're going to be playing the Ottawa Senators for the third time in about 2.5 weeks. It tends to raise the temperature level a little bit. Stuff carries over from game to game, and that makes these things more interesting.
Yeah, let's talk about why it got chippy. Kind of take us through what was going on there. What got Toronto so riled up, and what did they do in retaliation?
So I think you go back to Saturday night, and Nikita Zadorov just absolutely trucked Scott Laughton. It was a clean hit, although Craig Berube, the Leafs coach, said he didn't necessarily believe that after the game. But there was nothing from the league about it. So, Zadorov knocks Laughton out of the game. That certainly draws some attention. Now, the Leafs are not the most physical team, and they're, they really don't have somebody who's going to stand up to a guy like Zadorov too much. But Bobby McMahon jumped in and tried to answer for it right away. And then, that carries over into last night when Zadorov puts a hit. And it wasn't even really that much of a hit.
It wasn't even
seem like
a hit. It was almost he
Matthews.
just skated into him, kind of.
Toppled him over. Yeah, it's weird.
Zadorov said after the game, he said, go back and look. He said 99% of my hits come with my right shoulder. He's like, that's the way I hit. This one, I kind of bumped him with my chest. Austin Matthews was facing the boards, but it wasn't like he ran through him and tried to drive him into the boards. Matthews kind of fell awkwardly. Matthews gets up from that hit and basically chases Zadorov down in the Bruins zone and tries to throw a hit in return. And now Matthews is giving up. He's not a small guy, but he's giving up like 4 inches and 40 pounds to Zadorov in that exchange. And he kind of takes the brunt of that as Zadorov, stiffens up and stands his ground. And then Matthews left the game and never came back. And, the team said it was a lower body injury. And we don't know what the status of him is going forward. But when, one of your star players and your captain gets knocked out of the game, you expect that they're going to step up and try and do something about that. And we saw it, a few different times. We saw, Domi get into it. We saw Sammy Blais get a little rough later on in the game as well. But ultimately, because they were a little bit maybe too occupied with Zadorov, they end up giving the Bruins a power play in the third period that ultimately cost Toronto probably a chance to come back and tie that game.
Okay, so Wayne Gretzky was talking during the game about Pastrnak being a first ballot Hall of Famer, which it's hard to argue with the way he's playing. Where do you think he ends up if he stays healthy in terms of like all-time goals? Like where do you see him standing? You know what I'm saying? Like generationally, like where is he at?
Yeah, so he's at 401. He's 29 years old. So you figure, given health, he certainly has more 40 or 50 goal seasons left in him here. I could see him getting to say 600 by the time he's 34, somewhere in that ballpark. And now you're talking about getting into the top 20 all time in goal scoring, and then it's a matter of how long can he keep it going? Is it Is he like Ovechkin and he's still, scoring goals at a good clip when he's 40 years old? Most guys will start to tail off a little bit closer to that, but is 700 in the ballpark? I would think so. And that's top, there's only 8 guys in the history of the league that have done that. So, it's a long way to go, but certainly, top 10 goal scorer in the history of the league is on the table for Pastrnak at this point.
That's going to be a shame when Dino Ciccarelli gets kicked out of the top 20. He's hanging on for dear life there at number 20 right now.
Well, when he was with the Red Wings, you held your breath every time he got the puck. Dino Ciccarelli was real superstar.
I never saw him with the puck. I just saw him standing in front of the net deflecting. I think that's how he got 500 of his goals.
Steven Stamkos is only about 23 behind Ciccarelli, so he's coming for him. It's not going to last much longer.
Yeah. There was we were talking about this earlier, Ryan. This perverse pleasure with beating the Maple Leafs and how maybe that is taken over from what some fans think of as the ultimate rivalry and the ultimate beat for the Bruins, which is the Canadiens. But there's something extra that comes with the win over Toronto. Do you sense that? Do you feel that?
Yeah, the history in the playoffs in recent years, and regularly knocking the Maple Leafs out, you can certainly feel it when you go to Toronto. I posted a quick clip the other day when I was walking over to the arena for morning skate of Maple Leaf Square out in front of their arena, where so many scenes of heartbreak have been shown to us over the years. Those poor wretched fans up in Toronto, just
even the Blue Jay fans. I mean, the Blue Jay fans were all standing around there.
The Raptor fans, they just it never works out for them when they're gathered in that square. And so, but you feel it. It's a big event when those two teams play. And we were up there for Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday, which doesn't mean nearly as much down here as it does up there, but it's still a big event. And it's unfortunate, and thankfully this is the last year of the current schedule before they, add a couple of games onto the schedule next year. It's unfortunate they only play each other 3 times this year. You have to get at least 4 between these two teams because it's top tier hockey.
All right, sustainability. We've talked about this as this winning streak has gone on. As they win all these games in a row, does your opinion change? Do you think, okay, obviously there's a shot they make the playoffs now, but are you rethinking the ceiling of this team?
A little early to say. I think, we're not quite at the quarter pole of the season, and, you have no idea what's going to happen as far as injuries and things like that. But given the way that this team has come together and the way that they have shown a commitment to defend the way that Marco Sturm wants them to defend, and the success that they're having against, some pretty good teams along the way here. It's not like they've just beaten the dregs of the league during this winning streak. I think that, they are showing that they are a legitimate contender for the playoffs, certainly in the Atlantic Division. I mean, they come into this morning, and it's certainly early in the season still, but they're tied for first place in the division right now with Montreal, who we see for the first time on Saturday. That's going to be a fun one up there. And the crowd will certainly be at a fever pitch for a Bruins Canadiens game that has some early season meaning. But the commitment to defense, the goaltending that they've gotten from both Swayman and Korpisalo so far, and the fact that their power play, which they need to be good if they're going to be successful, has been excellent. And they scored 3 power play goals on 6 chances last night in that game. If they can keep the key players healthy throughout the course of this season, then, they're definitely right in the mix there. And I think that, given the buy-in, and that was a question early on in the season, Marco Sturm said a number of times that, not everybody was on board, and, he was still looking for buy-in from some players. There's no doubt here that over the past 3 weeks, we have seen 100% buy-in from guys. And that is a good sign when you're not even a quarter of the way through the season, that these guys have a belief in themselves. They're playing hard for each other. They're doing the little things and paying attention to the details that you need to pay attention to if you're going to win.
Are you as surprised as I am that of the offensive contributions you're getting other than Pasternak and Geeky? It just seems like theoretically you're without your top two centers here, and you're still scoring 5-on-5.
Yeah, not only are you scoring 5-on-5, but you basically went 2 games and really didn't give up anything 5-on-5 to one of the best scoring teams in the league in Toronto. And that's part of it. You're getting those offensive contributions because you're getting the defensive contributions, and everyone's on board, and you're able to kind of use that momentum and get the puck up the ice. But you're right, up and down the lineup, you've been getting contributions, and with Casey Middlestat out of the lineup, Pavel Zacha continues to produce, and he's had a great start to the season. Has goals in 3 of his last 4 games, and has put up almost a point a game to this point.
They showed some stat, Ryan, that Pasternak and Zacha have the most goals of any players in the league after January 1st.
Pasta and Geeky.
Yeah, Pasta and Geeky, not Zacha.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pasta and Geeky.
They're the top 2 goal scorers since January in the year 2025. They are the top 2 goal scorers in the league.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, who would have thought that?
Geeky has what, 9 in his last 11? Ryan, is that right?
Yeah, I think that's right. It's 11 goals. He's breathing down the league lead right now in goals. I think McKinnon pulled out in front of everybody with a few here in the last couple of games, but he's got you got Geeky with 11 goals, and I think there's only 3 players in the league who have more than him right now. And listen. The Bruins gave him that contract extension, and they hoped that he would be able to follow up a great season last year, that he reached, heights that we had never seen from him before. And, he has come out and, even after struggling early on in the season, has caught fire again. And, 30 is certainly within sight for him this season.
And still finds time to attack Kevin Majori on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
I did see that. I heard you guys talking about it this morning, and I did see it. And
so, just to bring everybody up to speed hold on a second, Ryan. Just to bring everybody up to speed, Kevin Majori, who's a producer on the afternoon show, tweeted out during the game last night, "I'll be the dweeb. Entire team coming out for 400th goal is kind of dumb." When they were celebrating Pasternak, Morgan Geeky went on Twitter hours later and said, "Stick to your day job, Kevin." Boom.
And my wife was looking at it. She went on to Geeky's Twitter account. And she's like, he only tweets like once a year. And he used his one tweet in 2025 to go after Majori. So good job.
Well, Majori's a bit of a hothead, and it's only a matter of time before he gets canceled. We have our own Kevin Majori and Ryan
Beaton, and again, he's at a high simmer. He's always ready, just about to boil over.
Are you positive, Ryan, that you could tell apart Ryan and Kevin if they were put in front of you?
Only because I worked with Ryan so much on the hockey show. That would be it. Other than that, yeah.
Well, I see Ryan every day, but by voice, I certainly couldn't tell you who was who.
Yeah, by voice, I'm not sure that I could. If you blindfolded me, I'm not sure I could.
Ryan's a brilliant kid, but I got to tell you,
so much of
so much of a talker.
If there's stature, though, if one of them ran through a door and comically left a perfect outline, you wouldn't be able to tell if it was Majori or Beaton.
Oh yeah,
they're the same.
If you were blindfolded and told to lift both over your head. You wouldn't be able to tell exactly who you were.
Put one in each arm. Well, who's on which side?
Maybe you could. That's too big a feat of strength for me. Over my head might be able to happen. But I do have the bum right shoulder. All right. Well, Ryan, look, it's got to be a thrill calling as always has been, but calling these games while this team is on such a run. It's been a very nice surprise because I got on the air after that long losing streak, and I was like, this sucks. This team's no fun. It's going to be. I can see it being like last year where I completely checked out after the trade deadline, and it looks like there's something to root for, and that's what you want. A playoff push makes things a lot more fun around here, and it looks like we might have that. Ryan, thank you so much. Great job as always.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Ryan.
We'll be back with our award-winning email segment.
Toucher and
like to email the Toucher and Hardy Show, look no further than 985thesportshub.com for that information. While you're there, click around for a bit. You won't be sorry. You can follow us on social media at Toucher and Hardy, which has our favorite video of Fake Blind Scott, which I enjoy very much. Now, it's not going to set the world on fire. We're aware. It won't hit your algorithm, but it will be it is very entertaining if you know the situation with Blind Scott. You can follow Hardy at Hardy985. You can follow me at Fred Toucher, where I'm like single digits away from 26,000. This has been a big climb. And Adam's right. Tomorrow when I'm on the field at the Patriots game.
Oh, boy.
Post that photo, baby.
26 in the dust once you get that posted. Boom.
Sky's the limit.
When I get my neutral clothes on, I will be wearing clothes of no professional organization, no football organization.
You know what it could be a night for? And I'm not telling you what to do or how to act or who to be. But if you want to dress to impress and you're down there on the sideline, you want to look like not just some Johnny-come-lately fan or some simp, how about the sport coat hoodie?
Oh, the Dickie.
It's so controversial, the sport coat hoodie. It's very controversial. And then I saw someone while I was wearing it, and then they sent me a screen cap of Peyton Manning wearing one. And they said, this must be a joke. And I said, you're the joke.
Dennis Lehane was wearing one at the event I did with him a few weeks ago there for the Quincy 400.
And he's a brilliant author.
A brilliant author.
And I'm brilliant. So maybe that's why you don't get it.
And he's a cool guy. So maybe I was wrong. I'm not willing to concede yet, but it seems just weather-wise it might be a good choice tomorrow night.
Well, it's just a Dickie, the actual hoodie. It's just a Dickie. It's
not
so
there's no added
hoodie.
warmth?
No. I mean, it is like a sport coat kind of situation. It was made by the Hugo Boss Company. I mean, so it's not like a...
What year?
Well, the 70s.
Yeah.
No, I bought it like a couple years ago.
Hugo Boss outlet.
My daughter liked it.
Okay.
All right. We did a segment with Adam 12. We asked him what's doing. I had to explain it to another one of the personalities in the building. A lot of questions. And I thought I did a good job. I said, here's what I do on the radio.
Come up to the lab.
White Knight Adam 12. This is from Jim. He says, can you ask Adam 12 why people like the Linda Lindas for any reason besides the fact they are 13, which they are not anymore? Go ahead, Adam.
I liked their first single, and then it kind of got a little...
Because it was at a library?
Oh, that's right. They played in the library. I forgot. Thanks for reminding me about that. To go revisit that.
I was in the car with my daughter, and I was trying to inspire her, so I was trying to find all-female bands, and I played the Linda Lindas, and we both realized this is no good.
Oh.
Does she like anything that's rock flavored, Zoe, or is she mostly?
No. She likes like Olivia Rodrigo's rock stuff. She's not. She doesn't hate. They both my kids like the Descendants because it was forced on them. Adam.
Yes.
So you ever see the show Shameless?
No.
Okay, so the theme song to Shameless.
It's on a premium service.
Is a
Showtime.
You want to share your password there, Hardy?
They're starting to crack down on that. Adam.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if only they would leave those in dumpsters if they were day
I haven't been able to watch Hulu in months. Go on.
Try to go through people's shredded paper and see if you could find something written down. But the theme to Shameless, my guy I went to school with, Detroit band, he's the drummer. The band's a little insufferable, but they went on a tour of libraries. As a touring band, they toured public libraries.
But libraries that have music venues attached, much like...
No.
Interesting. They would just set up and play at a library.
Well, one of the guys is a very wealthy author now. He's got some genre-specific books that he writes that have been very successful and turned into film. What are they? I said they're genre-specific, so I have no idea.
Okay.
But he's got something cooking. If you'd like to look him up, Derek Burke is the kid I went to school with. Go find the theme to Shameless. You play it. You see if you dig it. You guys know the theme to Shameless?
I've seen the show, but
it was on for 10 years. It's got the guy from The Bear. And that's a hysterical comedy.
And William H. Macy, right?
Yeah, Shameless was all right. Like for 4 seasons, Shameless pretty good show.
I just didn't believe any of it. It's like no family is this like weird, but also aware of the weirdness, and it's just it just got like shocking for shocking's sake.
At the end, but in the beginning, I thought it was good.
Would love to hear Gary Tangway's fan fiction version of A League of Their Own. Now, this got brought up earlier when we were having Adam 12 explain things to us.
Time has come.
And tried to explain why.
All right, here's the deal.
A League of Their Own was such an important film to make.
Look, bunch of chicks, right?
Yeah.
Tall one, fat one, slut. They're all sitting around. And they're like, what are we to do? All the men have gone. There's no one to breathe.
Where are the men?
They're, I don't know, doing something dumb.
Yeah.
They're doing something dumb. I'm sorry, my son's texting me. They're doing, look, all right, here we go. Scene. One of those years from before TV. Not a lot to do. What are we going to do? Broads playing baseball. Got to make it happen. All right, who do we get? Casting call. All right. Well, let's get all ones with big knockers. No, that's the catch. That's only going to appeal to men. We got to get ladies in. How do you get them in? Fat chick, tall chick, slut. Everyone's all kinds of females are represented except blacks.
Oh,
they are all white.
Because
this is an Arab film.
When we include one throwaway scene of a black patron catching a ball and then throwing it back onto the field of play.
Perhaps. I
Okay.
mean, but maybe have they injured their arm and now they have unique superhuman ability?
No.
Because I got another script rolling around in my head.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, right. Kid gets his arm hurt. All of a sudden, he can chuck it.
Right.
Gary Busey's available. Let's just make it happen.
Well,
Now it's a green light.
But cross it with the Buddy Holly story. You got something going. All right.
Very good. So yesterday when we were leaving, you had asked me about a certain guy who was on hold. You said Don and Carver. I said, oh, yeah, absolutely. I know who that is.
You know, if they have a name like Don from Carver.
Yes.
Like Blind Scott is like, he's on hold the whole show and he's Blind Scott. Like Don from Carver sounds like guy I don't want to talk to. It sounds like an EEI thing, like Don from Carver.
Butch from the Cape.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't care for that. Mad Dog takes those guys, the same guys every show.
Yep.
And then I just feel bad for him the whole time. Not Mad Dog, the caller. Like, you do this every day?
Well, he emailed me yesterday. 10:36 a.m. Well, Hardy, third time for me holding on the phone and Fred won't pick up. Today was particularly frustrating as I had something to contribute to the Don Darrow controversy, or Don Weirdo, as I said on yesterday's Zoe and Bertrand show.
Yeah, I heard that, and I wrote it down, and I was like, missed opportunity.
But left hanging again for the third time. Am I verboten? Would appreciate a response. Your friend of yesteryear, apparently, Don and Carver. And Don did call into the show a couple of times, Fred. You remember him.
Piece of punk.
Yeah, talking about you.
He called me a nice old guy.
I don't like.
Yeah, he was going to beat me up.
Yeah, I'm not a nice old guy in the alleyway if you confront me.
There you go.
We were going to fight in the alleyway.
Yes.
That's where that was going to get done.
Well, there was the alleyway adjacent to the stoop, and you're going to have to climb out off the stoop.
Yeah, Don from Carver is
and
from...
head down the alleyway off the avenue.
Yeah, he's from a rival outfit, and he's a greaser, and he does carry a blade. And, and I was aware of that, and I was like, no chains, no blades. We're going to settle this with our fists. But he was too busy singing around the flaming trash can, so we had to call it off.
Is he on hold now?
No, I don't want to take that. And first of all, the Dondero thing was over. Like we were talking about something else.
But if he has a new name like Don Weirdo, maybe it has new life.
I talked to Rick yesterday. Came up to me and he was kind of bouncing around the Dondero thing, and I'm like, it's the ridiculous. I find myself explaining things a lot. I'm like, it's the ridiculousness of the whole thing that's funny. It's not something that's going to go on forever. It was just absurd, so it was kind of funny. The whole thing was absurd.
Maybe I'm ill-advised.
Yeah, well, you brought it up, not me. I didn't say he didn't ask us not to. Didn't ask us not to talk about it anymore. All right. Dave says TV famous porn magazines. We were talking about how everyone remembers. It came up organically. It wasn't a bit. But everyone remembers the porn magazines that they had, because back in the day you only had one or two if you were lucky. My parents had no pornography, not even Playboys in the house.
No.
We were on an island. If yours didn't either. Dave said it's funny that you were saying that as I was writing this, I had a penthouse that Tim Watley had in his dentist's office in Seinfeld. It's amazing how the internet has ruined life's small pleasures. I think that issue even stowed away with me for my freshman year in college, along with the Farrah Fawcett R.I.P. and Katrina Witt Playboy. I remember the Katrina Witt Playboy.
So do I.
Thanks for being a
one.
guardian of the zeitgeist. That's Dave in North Carolina. I was talking about how there was this Playboy, this random Playboy that I had that had this newscaster, just this random newscaster. It wasn't like Diane Sawyer or something. And it gets shown occasionally in the backgrounds of 80s set films or a film in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll see it and I'll immediately go, that's my Playboy. It's like your kid's in it.
It's a universal thing.
Or oh, that's my brother.
Yeah.
It's just that's my Playboy.
Yeah.
It feels like a part of the family. And that's gone. That's gone with the internet. That
tactile being able to hold to.
Well,
yeah.
I told you, I had an adult video news, which is like a trade magazine. Now there's sex pictures in it and stuff, but it's basically a reviews of the different films and interviews with the performers. And you know how it is. It was missing pages and stuff, and I memorized the thing because you'd start reading it, and it had John Leslie was interviewed, and he was an auteur. He's from theater.
Yeah.
I still remember the interview.
I don't remember the name of the publication, but I had one pretty hardcore one, which was given to me by someone else. And instead of a traditional photo shoot, you could tell that all they were stills from a porn that was being made, because in a lot of the photos, you could see the reflection of the cameraman and the lights in the windows behind it. This guy didn't get the best angles because he was just the still photographer on set of the film shoot. Mm-hmm. But, I remember the way things were described in it and how actors were described. And because, like you said, Fred, you read every single word.
Which gets us to, of course, Nugget, where I had it in my fort, and then I came down screaming and yelling and approached my mom, and I said, this needs to be discussed immediately. I have been ruined. And my mom was very patient with me because they were saying things, and cannibalism was kind of talked about, and I was it was gross. And then what's so funny is the first time I ever told that story, Jim Murray was Nugget. I think on the air, he was Nugget. That's a nightmare. And it's just funny between the woods and the Nugget, even though we all grew up in different areas, different regions of the country, we all have such similar stories.
Yes, sir.
Porn in the woods.
Yep.
But you took one home, but you were really little. Yeah. So that's different. Because the ones in the woods stayed in the woods because they were usually pretty beat up.
Yes.
You were bringing in the outside. They were caked in mud and stuff. We keep them under a bridge between the bridge and the concrete that kept the bridge up.
Well, did you ever go out looking for them? You thought you found one. It turned out just to be a part of a Sears catalog. You're I thought we found a stray one here.
We got to the point where we had a playground in my neighborhood, my subdivision, and they had those concrete tubes that were very fun to play in. And I don't even know what they were for. And they might have weighed a ton. And we would get as many kids as we could to try to move them. So we would orchestrate almost like an R gang situation.
Yeah.
Like a Little Rascals thing, where we would spend the day trying to move the cylinder as if once we moved that, there would be a trove of pornography underneath it. Because that's only a logical hiding place where very strong adults would hide things.
Right.
And then we would pick up butts of cigarettes and try to light them and smoke them.
Oh.
All right. We will be back in just a moment. My son was texting me. Hopefully he heard all of that. And he can know how much better it was back when we were kids. Couldn't just type into your little computerly doodly-doo. You had to go to the woods. All right. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by... on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show?
It's two-stack money. It's two-stack money. Ready?
It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
We are Toucher and Hardy on TV. They have something saying how to make sure your heating system is good to go. Hardy, how to make sure your heating system is good to go?
I would call the guys at 128. That's what I would do.
Kaboom. By the way, if you're wondering what's going on after the show, Adam and John have another one of their little dates.
Yeah, because 12 is going to kill 7 hours as opposed to driving 20 minutes home and then sitting in traffic for an additional 30 minutes to get to where he has to be at 6 or 7 tonight. He's just going to go out there right after work and kill, 5 hours before you have to be there?
Go for a hike, hang out in the library, got some work to do. Got
Good
some
hiking weather, yeah.
Posts to do for the website.
Yeah,
and
nice outside.
Music logs for Rock 92.9. I got some work to do. And
do it in your office like a human.
Sometimes I do. Today I want to work out of the library.
So I will be at the library today too.
No way.
Because my daughter has her tutor at the library at 6:15, and I found that if I drop her off and then there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Nothing gets done. At that time of night.
No.
There's nothing I could do. So I just stay at the library now.
Post up in the Newton Free.
But I bring my own book, not one of those booger-ridden trashes that they have in the library.
It's like bringing sand to the beach. What are you doing?
Well, I'm halfway through the thing. Yeah. Like, what do I got to look for the one at the library to read it? I'm halfway through the book. It's the book I'm reading.
If someone has already checked it out, you don't bring your book. You depend on the library to have it. Someone's already got it.
How about that I'm halfway through the book and I own it, so I take it to the library? Why should I look? I got to go look it up on the shelves and go grab it and find the page.
What book?
It's a book called The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis. I'm in a very big Bennington College kick. Apparently. Jonathan Latham, Donna Tartt, Bret Easton Ellis. I'm a completist.
All right.
I'm getting them all done. The Secret History by Donna Tartt is a masterpiece. Kaboom.
Several music items to get to here. Number one, Evan Stanley and Nick Simmons. Do you know who they are?
No, I don't follow Gene and Paul on Instagram. No, I don't know. I got to follow Eddie Trunk right now. I don't listen to the Trunkster. They're the sons of Gene. You'll remember him from Simmons Family Jewels.
Yeah.
And Evan Stanley, who's more of the, sensitive artist.
Does he sound like his dad?
There in Derek's call.
They sound like, genius.
Well,
by genius.
They have joined forces in a band they are calling Stanley Simmons and will release their debut single, Body Down, on December 5th.
Isn't it interesting that neither of their last names are Stanley or Simmons, yet the fake last names carry on?
Oh. I didn't know.
Paul Stanley's real name is like Stanley Einstein.
But did he change it legally to Stanley so he could name his kid Stanley and not?
I don't know. I've read his book twice because one time I was in detox and it's all that was brought to me.
Oh.
So but I do not recall that. And Gene's real name is something like so Israeli that it's like impossible to pronounce. It's like Haim Goobly-Gook. I can't pronounce it. And I'd only offend John if I tried. Even though, again, I am more Jewish than John, but here we are.
Another new music offering coming from Mark Tremonti. Wallach, do you know who Mark Tremonti is?
Yes, I'm familiar with the work of Creed.
No, I was asking John.
Oh,
Creed.
I'm sorry. I thought it was about...
Yes, I'm familiar with the work of Creed.
Oh, well, you didn't know who Mark Tremonti is. But what's the big deal? Well, because he's getting back with Scott Stapp.
Oh!
New Creed music in 2026. I've been working real hard on trying to put together new ideas. That's when the best ideas happen. When you work hard on trying to get new ideas, that's when the magic happens.
Mm-hmm. First of all, Eddie Trunk has 215,000 Instagram followers, so that's sad. He's way more successful than me, and he talks about butt rock.
Surprised there's that many Heschers on Instagram to follow him.
He's on board with Howard getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, Eddie Trunk is weighed in?
Yes.
Well, I mean, if I worked for the show, I'd be pushing for it very, Nancy Wilson wants it very badly.
Yeah, I know.
But Creed, so I'm listening to the Alex Van Halen book, Brothers, and he talks about how with art, you can't force it. He says that it's taken from the air. that inspiration is in the air and you cannot force it. You just keep playing, and then eventually it will come to you.
Yes.
These are not your ideas. These are ideas borrowed from the gods.
That's right. That was kind of my point. And the number one
the
number one country song in America is from an artist called Breaking Rust. This song is called,
which is called Banging an 80-year-old.
But I don't stay low.
Walk My Walk.
Got mud on my jeans.
Oh, I've heard about this.
I got mud on my jeans.
You know what's interesting about this Breaking Rust artist, Fred? AI. And it is the number one song on the Billboard Country Digital Song Sales Charts.
Well, if there was a genre of music where it would truly not matter. And isn't it interesting that country music started as this very simple, like, soulful, like, regional form of expression has now become the dopiest, stupidest form of music in the world.
And who's to say these guys stuck in these rooms in the Nashville Music Machine haven't been using AI for years to help them churn out lyrics and put together song ideas?
Well, I mean, we've gone through the exercise of going through a hit country song and saying how they're just placating you, and it's actually
just checking the
insult to you.
boxes.
Because when they put the information in, they go, believe me, I know songwriters in Nashville. They go, what are these idiots? Do you think that these are the songs they want to write? I can assure you they're not, but they're formulaic. And they say, what do these idiots want to hear? Beer, God, in some vague form of God. Your truck. Just throw these things in. Scott shaking his head.
Willie Nelson.
Old stuff, yeah, but you're right. Like the Hardy knows. We tease Hardy all the time, or we used to, about Beers and Sunshine.
The Darius Rucker.
Hitting golf balls off the dock with flip-flops and having a beer.
Beers and Sunshine, which is essentially the song Chicken Fried. You can play them like one on top of the other.
You know I like my chicken fried.
When you're hitting balls off the dock, are they just going into the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
so you live on a lake that you are actively polluting, and I'm not being a hippie. I'm just saying, like, if I can't imagine sitting on my parents' dock and going, oh, you live on this nice lake, let's fill it with golf balls.
Right. Well, I could.
Just every day, hundreds of golf balls.
I got a bucket of balls down the Cape. When boats come by, I get the 7-iron out, take a couple shots.
That's good. That could only end well.
Are they only traveling 70 yards away from you? Because that's the only way you're getting a 7-iron to them.
Yeah.
Take
I
that.
get my 7-iron pretty far. It's my best iron. Yeah.
Well, that's what you got to take out when you get to the
You've seen
range.
me hit my 7.
Is that what you take out?
I can't hit
Hardy?
anything else.
when you get to the range, his first club, you take out the 7.
I got a whole system. No, I start with the wedges.
Oh, you go up.
Yeah.
You work up.
Climb the ladder. It's like striking out a batter. You just climb the ladder on that.
At sunrise, it's the wedge. At sunset, it's the driver. He's put in a full day. So now 3 hours between sunrise and sunset. That's a joke about the time that the sun is up in New
And the
England.
horrible, depressing time of year we're now in.
It's funny how much more tired I am at 6 than I was 3 months ago. All right. We will be back tomorrow, and then that is the big game day. That'll do it for us. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Touch her